Now expert in the marketing management, marketing research and publication ethics. He has contributed 10 books and 45 research papers in national and international journals. He is serving as a member of the University Court, Executive Council and Academic Council, as well as Director of the Alumni Association and National Education Policy 2020, Nodal Officer, and is currently engaged in the capacity building project funded by the Niti Aayog, Government of India. So, welcome you, sir. Now, I would like to introduce our guest and resource person, CA Manish, highly practicing chartered accountant over the year. He has been a business advisor and enabler for various entrepreneurs. He is a member of the various ICAI committees. He has played a crucial role in the benefiting professional and business alike. His deep expertise is in taxation lead to the involvement in the implementation of goods and service tax in India. His visionary approach is evident in his work in the telecom sector, where he founded a service infrastructure company that has significantly contributed to environmental sustainability. So, welcome you, sir. Now, I would like to introduce our young entrepreneur and resource person, Tanish Sethi. He is a founder of Rosella Technology India Private Limited and an Android app developer who began his journey at the age of 17 years during the lockdown period 2020. He has developed 14 innovative apps. His most successful app, Pasumal. He is a game changer for cattle farmers across North India, and he was honored with the Pradhan Mantri Rashtriya Bal Puraskar 2022 by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. His other app is Oxygen Store, Speak India, Speak Word, Taylor Diary, and Gossip. He is also represents India Youth in AI at the GPAI International Summit. So welcome you, sir. I encourage all of you to interactive, ask questions, and make the most of this opportunity. Let's ensure that today is not just about listening, but also about learning and exchanging ideas. So welcome you all, sir, again. First thing. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for your warm words. Continue with the program. I would like to request Madam Usha Goyal, convener of the seminar and head PG Department of Business Management and Commerce, for giving the introduction of today's seminar. Please, ma'am.
A very good morning.
Good morning.
Honorable Chief Guest, Professor Upasana Joshi, who have joined us online. Keynote speaker, Professor Manjeet Singh. Our eminent resource persons, Professor Surinder Singh, CA Manish Kansalji, and Mr. Tanish Sethi. I extend my heartful welcome and express my sincere gratitude to all of you for your august presence today in this ICSSR sponsored seminar on entrepreneurship and startups, dynamic realm of opportunities and challenges. Today we have gathered here to explore a topic that is not only shaping the future of India but also transforming economies worldwide. Entrepreneurship has always been the driving force behind innovation and economic development. It is the courage to take the risks, the willingness to innovate, and the determination to bring about change. In recent years, India has witnessed a remarkable startup revolution, with young entrepreneurs stepping forward to challenge traditional norms and build the businesses that are making a global impact. India is now the third largest startup ecosystem in the world, with over 1 lakh registered startups. The government has played a crucial role in this transformation through initiatives like Startup India, Make in India, Digital India, and the Atal Innovation Mission. These policies provide financial support, tax exemptions, incubation facilities, making it easier for the startups to flourish. One of the most inspiring success stories is Flipkart, which started as a small online bookstore in 2007, and now we can see it stands as a multi-billion-dollar company acquired by Walmart. Another example is Razorpay, a fintech startup that simplified online payments for businesses and went on to achieve unicorn status. If I talk about Punjab, it is now emerging as a hub for entrepreneurship and innovation. Incubation centers in institutions like IIT Ropar and Chitkara University are providing young minds with mentorship and funding opportunities. A shining example from Punjab is Trishneet Arora, founder of Tech Security. He started his cybersecurity venture at a young age, and today his company is securing businesses worldwide. While the opportunities are immense, startups are facing several challenges also. Access to funding remains a major hurdle. Regulatory compliance and bureaucratic hurdles can slow down the progress. Market competition is fierce, requiring startups to constantly innovate and differentiate themselves. Despite these challenges, the future of Indian startups is promising. As Reid Hoffman, co-founder of LinkedIn, once said, an entrepreneur is someone who jumps off a cliff and builds a plane on the way down. So take the leap, embrace the journey, and create something extraordinary. The future belongs to those who innovate, take risks, and never stop learning. Let's continue to inspire, create, and transform the ideas into reality. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Usha, ma'am. Now I would humbly request our Honorable Chief Guest, Professor Upasana Joshi, Honorary Director, ICSSR, Punjab University, Chandigarh, to address the delegates and motivate with her warm words. Ma'am, please.
After that, I will talk about something like that ICSSR has to offer to the college students and also to the students who are doing research. So entrepreneurship has always been the engine that drives persons, yet often foster innovation. I think there is some noise in the channel. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am, you are audible, ma'am.
what have shaped the world we live in today. So the concept of entrepreneurship has evolved over the, and we are standing in the middle of what we call a dynamic realm, a world that offers opportunities but also demands resilience and adaptability in the face of these challenges. Entrepreneurship is not limited to capital or industrial ventures. So with the use of technology, we have seen the emergence of digital platforms, fintech solutions, biotechnology startups, and the myriad of other innovative ideas. So this transformation has been powered from business, from local operations to international and global networks. A startup, as everybody knows, is a company that is designed to scale rapidly. It is a venture that aims to solve problems in a way that it can be proven scalable. However, you can see this startup is dynamic both because it is complex, so we have both opportunities and challenges we are facing. So first of all, I would like to say the type of opportunities that are available. So first and most common opportunity is the advancement in technology. I'm hearing an echo in the audible, everyone?
Yes, ma'am, you are audible, ma'am.
किसी का इको आ रहा है, किसी का कोई कॉल है?
You know, this is not. Okay, sorry for this.
Is it okay, please?
Yeah. I think equal to the medium class, okay, fine. So as I have already, so technological advancement is the first thing that we have to leverage on that. So digital areas has completely revolutionized way businesses are. So that is the rise of artificial intelligence, blockchain, cloud computing, or Internet of Things. New avenues for innovation. Fintech startups like Paytm, everybody is aware of that also, Razorpay or Stripe, they have capitalized on the opportunities in digital payment, have transformed the way we conduct content. The story of Airbnb is also evident and clear to each and everyone that leverage technology transformation hospitality industry. So by connecting travelers with hosts through a user-friendly platform, Airbnb become a billion-dollar business by example of how technological innovation has led to creation of new business models and opened up previously unimaginable opportunities. Globalization has also contributed to the development or for the progress of ecosystem for startups. So in the past, the barriers to entry for businesses looking to expand globally, they are very high. So now platforms like Shopify, Amazon, Alibaba, even small startups can sell their products and services to global audience. So entrepreneurs now have access to new markets, new customers, new networks that are previously out of reach. So rise of social media platforms like Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, they have also empowered entrepreneurs to market their ideas and products to a global audience with minimal cost. Social media allows businesses to interact directly with the consumer in real time. So another example is Oyo Rooms. We started as a small startup in India and became a global player in the hospitality industry. Then supporting ecosystem and government initiatives also have helped in entrepreneurship in India. Government around the world, you have seen like government incubators, accelerators, and universities. They are increasingly supporting innovation through grant mentorship. So even in India, as Usha Madam have already told you, like Startup India, Make in India, Atmanirbhar Bharat, all these are the schemes that are launched by Government of India with an aim to provide resources, funding, networking opportunities so that our next generation should not be a job seekers, rather they should be job providers. So this has led to a dramatic increase in the number of tech-based startups and made India one of the most attractive destinations for startup investment. So availability of venture capital, angel investors, they are also plays a critical role in fueling the growth of startups. So in recent years, we have seen that there is a surge in funding for startups with venture capitalists looking for high growth, disruptive companies to invest in. As a result, innovative ideas that once seemed impossible to execute now have the financial backing to flourish. Another exciting opportunity that has gained significant traction is the intersection of entrepreneurship and social impact. Now, more and more entrepreneurs are now launching businesses with a mission to solve societal challenges, whether through like initiatives. These are the some of opportunities. Now, I would also like to name a few constraints. Again, already mentioned by Usha ma'am, like financial constraints, because capital is always scarce and obtaining capital or in a sufficient amount is always a challenge. So despite the availability of venture capital or angel investors, many startups struggles to secure adequate funding, especially in the early stages. So this challenge becomes even greater when it comes to retaining ownership or equity while raising the funds. So startups need to carefully navigate the process of fundraising, balancing the need for growth with the potential dilution of the ownership. So a startup must prove that its value proposition, demonstrate its potential for growth, and show that it can provide a return on investment. So that is a delicate balancing that requires entrepreneurs to be strategic and resilient. Another challenge is highly competitive markets. So we daily see thousands of startups are launched and only a few succeed. So many entrepreneurs face the challenge of differentiating their products or services in an already crowded market. And speed of technological change and ever-changing customer demands also make it impossible for the startups to cope up with their competition or the customer demands. We can see the ride-sharing industry, Ola, Lyft, Uber was the one of the pioneers in this space, but competitors were quick to catch up and implement innovative features to your customers. As the definition of the entrepreneurship says that risk-taking capacity means if you are an entrepreneur, it has to be risky. Everything has to be risky. So risk is inherent in entrepreneurship. So many startups fall because this is something that entrepreneurs must be prepared for, failure. So that is a common aspect of entrepreneurship and should be viewed as a setback, not as a stepping stone to success. So successful entrepreneurs are those who learn from their mistakes, from their failures, reiterate on their idea and then try again, bounce back, that we call. For instance, again, example of Steve Jobs is, evident each and everyone where he was ousted from the Apple, the company he founded, only to return years later and turn it into one of the most valuable companies in the world. So his story is a testament to the fact that setbacks are part of the journey and perseverance can lead to monumental success. So as the startup grows, it faces challenge of building a strong and cohesive team. So what differentiates between a performing and non-performing organization is its human capital. Okay, the persons who are there in that organization. So entrepreneurs often struggle to attract the right talent due to limited resources, and even when they do, the challenge lies in aligning the team. Okay, with the like who has the same vision as the startup founder has. So team dynamics, leadership, company culture, they all play an important role in the success story of any startup. So as you have seen, the Google invested heavily in creating a unique organization culture that fosters creativity, collaboration, and innovation. So this culture became a key factor in Google's rise to global dominance in the technological industry. So these opportunity challenges there we can keep on counting, but with these words I would like to conclude that I want to leave you with a key thought like entrepreneurship and startups offer boundless opportunities, but they are not without their challenges. So key to success lies in recognizing and embracing the opportunities while being prepared to tackle the challenges head on. So with this, I will say that entrepreneurship is not a marathon. It is not a sprint, it is like a marathon in which you have to keep on walking. You have to prove yourself over a period of time. So there is no shortcut to success, but with time, with resilience, everything happens. So my best wishes to the organizers of this seminar and also to the budding entrepreneurs and startup of our nation like Tanish who can take this journey ahead. So this is all about, you can see anything about us to talk about the seminar. So I congratulate again Surendra Thakurji for applying for this seminar sponsorship to the ICSSR because this is the mandate of the ICSSR or this is the basic objective to promote, research in social science. So this is not only the one aspect that where the ICSSR provides funding for seminars, to hold seminars, or you can say to hold conferences, but also you can hold capacity building programs and like if in college you can hold training programs for research scholars. So you provide funding for that also. So proposals are invited throughout the year. So anytime you can apply to the ICSSR, to Northwest Regional Center also, or to the ICSSR at Delhi also. And one more thing that at NWRC we do, we give funding to the students who are pursuing their research to visit various universities. Okay, for that they will entitled to the train ticket or the bus ticket and also some kind of a amount like 2,000 rupees, 1,000 rupees per day depending upon the city they want to visit so as to meet their daily expenses. So as to promote them, that they should visit to different universities in different cities, different states, and there should not be any financial burden on them. And even the students who are pursuing research and they are not JRF, we can ask for funding to the tune of 60,000, 50,000 from the ICSSR to conduct their field study or to conduct the gather the data for even for the analysis purpose they can utilize that fund. Postdoctoral research is again evident to everybody, and apart from them, if the colleges want to organize lecture of eminent persons from their field, eminent scholars, so even funding is provided for that also, like their tickets from their post university to their home university or college from where they belong, plus the stay at that. But in that case, you have to collaborate with one or two colleges or within the university with other departments so as to utilize the expertise of that person to the fullest. Because this is again a taxpayer's money, so we should be little, cautious when spending it. That whenever we do this type of funding, so we have a kind of accountability that we should use this money with so much caution and reverence because it's not something that belongs to you only. Then even for participation of scholars, they can participate in national or international seminars or conferences, even funding is provided for that also. Not only for scholars also, even university teachers or college teachers can also avail this facility, this grant. But you have to apply at least 3 months before you want to attend that conference so that there is ample time to do the paperwork, to arrange for everything. And everything is again according to rules and regulation, and proper guidelines are available on the website of ICSSR. So I think with this I have made myself clear. So I say good luck to the participants and also say congratulations to the organizers.
We are extremely grateful for your encouragement, precious time, and words of wisdom. We are also thankful you have given told us about other projects for which we can raise funds from the ICSSR. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Pastor ma'am.
Right.
Now, I would like to invite our worthy keynote speaker, Professor Manjeet Singh, University School of Applied Management, Punjabi University, Patiala, to throw light on the main theme of the seminar, entrepreneurship and startups, dynamic realm of opportunities and challenges. Please, Manjeet sir.
Honorable Chief Guest for today's seminar, Dr. Upasana Joshi ji, my former colleague at Punjabi University, Patiala. Resource persons, Professor Surinder Purno ji, Manish Bansal ji, Mr. Sethi, and the principal, Mr. Surinder Singh Thakur ji, and my colleagues from the universities and colleges and dear students. Well, at the outset, I'm grateful to the organizers for giving me an opportunity to be part of this learning platform and to reflect upon, some of my experiences, some of my thoughts related to this very, very important topic, that is entrepreneurship and startups, dynamic realm of opportunities and challenges. Well, at the outset, I would like to congratulate the college for choosing such an apt theme, which holds a lot of importance in India's growth story. And, when we talk about India's growth story, we know that India is a very interesting spot of its growth story, because we have completed 75 years of India's independence, and the way our economy is doing, the kind of fundamentals our economy is having, and the kind of growth rates which we are witnessing during quite some time, we are envisaging that by the time we complete 100 years of India's independence, that is 2047, India will be a Viksit Bharat. Now that is something what we have aimed for. That is what the targets which we have chosen, quite an ambitious target, to be a $60 trillion economy by 2047. Now, as far as our present is concerned, presently we are $3.8 trillion economy. And, in the coming 23 years, if we say that, can we really become a $60 trillion economy? Because presently we are just $3.8 trillion economy. And we were hoping to become a $5 trillion economy by 2024, but somehow those targets are, postponed, and now we are expecting that by 26, 27, we might become a $5 trillion economy. So with this kind of data in place, that we still are at a very low level of GDP, that is $3.8 trillion economy. So can we become $60 trillion economy? Now that means that can we grow by another 12, 13, 14 times in the coming 20, 22 years? Now when we trace the history of the nations who have successfully grown in a very short span of time, that includes China, that includes Korea, that includes Singapore, their growth stories tell us that this target is quite possible. if, everything is in place and we are progressing well and all our indicators and all our engines are thrown to full speed, then having a 15 times growth from whatever we are today is quite possible. So that is what the experiences of some of the developed countries who have progressed very well in the recent past that tell us. But when we talk about India, ever since this concept of Viksit Bharat started we are talking about, now, so many authors, so many experts wrote on this topic that is it possible that though we are talking about the other countries, we have done it, but is it possible for India? Now they are quite optimistic about India's growth story, but they say that there is only one black swan event in this, and that is our youth. And that is the kind of growth which we are witnessing these days, which we call jobless growth. Okay, our jobs are not increasing to commensurate the kind of progress or the way our GDP is growing. Our jobs are not growing that much. So that gives us a good food of thought that is it that only job seekers should be our youth, or we should create a youth which is job provider. So keeping that thing in mind, this seminar holds a lot of importance and a lot of deliberation we are expecting on this particular theme. And since most of the audience sitting here is students, so we'd love to share our ideas, our reflections on this. Now, when we take a kaleidoscopic view of India's growth story, we say that we are looking forward to Viksit Bharat to become a $60 trillion economy. But if we look at our recent past, I will not say history, because history is written normally after 50 years. So if we say our recent past, let's say 30, 34 years down the line, and if we take 1990 as an important milestone in India's growth story. Now, in 1990, if we compare India with one of our neighbors, that is China, India and China were having a similar kind of GDP in 1990. Our GDP and China's GDP was same. And population of India and China was also quite identical at that point of time. Now what has happened during last 30 years or so, that China has become a $17.5 trillion economy, and we are still at $3.8 trillion economy. So they have emerged 5 times bigger than us during this time period. And we say that this kind of growth story which China has witnessed is spectacular kind of growth which they had. Now, what influenced their growth story? What were the factors which contributed their growth story? And if we want to compare it with Indian context. Now, I would like to share just one data point here. And that data point is about patents. The patents, which every country files. So, if we talk about this one data point, okay, how many patents China is filing every year? Because patent reflects that how much that country has invested in research, innovation, and creativity. Because patent itself is a reflection of creativity, innovation, and research. So China every year files 12.5 lakh patents. So 1.25 million patents they file every year. It's a huge number. And when we look at the top-notch country in the world, the wealthiest country in the world, that is US, how many patents they are filing every year? They are filing 650,000. So almost half than what China is filing every year. And when we look at India, okay, how many patents Indians are filing every year? How many patents are filed in India? it is just 1,100,000. Okay, so this figure itself reflects that if we want to have a spectacular growth, a growth of 15 times more than whatever we are now, then there has to be a lot of focus on creativity and innovation, the research and development, because we cannot underestimate the importance of our R&D, the importance of our creativity and innovation, to become a Viksit Bharat. Because entrepreneurship, as Dr. Upasana has talked about, it's all about innovation. It's all about, creativity in terms of your ideas. You cannot be a follower. You have to be a creator through some ideas. So that means that for India's growth story, this creativity and innovation and the role of entrepreneurship and startups cannot be underestimated. Right? So if we really want to look forward to the Viksit Bharat, we cannot, underestimate the importance of this. Now, when we look around, though we are saying that we are not comparable with China, because China could become $17.5 trillion economy, but we are still 3.8. But we all have been witnessing, something good about Indian economy as well, because we are looking around the kind of change which is coming up and the kind of profound growth which we are witnessing. Things are changing. We all know that. But that change is not as spectacular as it is in the case of China. But whatever change has happened, if we look at that change, what kind of change we have witnessed and how it gives opportunities for entrepreneurship and startups. Now, the themes around which India has grown, or India's growth story lies during last 15 to 20 years, the first theme is the financialization of the economy. Because we have seen UPI, UPI is one of the biggest innovation of the recent past. India has done a remarkable achievement by inventing this UPI. In fact, when we say how we have been in a position to come up with this UPI and the kind of ecosystem which we had in place to come up with this kind of innovation in fintech. Now, that is reminding me of some of my experience around 24 years back when I was associated with the United Nations Development Program. That was a point when, whenever we used to meet any foreigner, especially from America or from the developed world, they used to say one thing, that India has become a very interesting country to watch these days. That is somewhere in 2002, when people used to call it. And one of the factors, why we were called as an interesting country was the kind of role our IT industry was playing in the transformation of the global financial landscape. Because all these companies like Infosys, TCS, Wipro and all, the kind of projects which they were handling worldwide and the way they were transforming the financial sector, especially in the global landscape, that was giving a kind of reflection to the outside world that India is likely to become an economic superpower the way we have been moving. And I still remember somewhere around 2003, 2004, when this core banking solution started, core banking solution in banking sector. Earlier, if you have a bank account in a particular branch, you are customer of that particular branch only. You are not customer of the bank, you are not customer of the banking system as a whole. But the way our IT companies worked on it by learning from their contribution towards the world's financial sector, that they came up with the solution to be, core banking solutions are provided through which you are not only a customer of a particular branch, but you are a customer of whole of the banking industry. That is how the sharing of ATMs started. And when I shared this news with one of the senator in US who happened to be the dean also of a American university. And when I asked him, I said, in India, we have started sharing of ATMs, and he was surprised. He said that has not happened even in US, but India has done pretty well as far as that part is concerned. Now, that kind of innovation has continued, and the greatest innovation of the recent past is our UPI. This online, this wallet system, the payment system which we have adopted, which we have invented rather. And no one else in the world has, that invention. So that is a great contribution of India. And when we say that how our growth story is unfolding, how our growth story is getting revolved around this, so financialization of the economy is one of the important themes. And with that financialization, as we see the way our markets are behaving, or the way people save, the way people invest, that is becoming different now. More than 2,000 types of mutual fund schemes are there, and 15 crore demat accounts are there, which were struggling to have, I still remember in 2011, we had just 1 crore demat accounts, and only 40-50 cities were there who were having those demat accounts. But see the growth story now, because of this financialization of the economy, that we have 15 crore demat accounts now, more than 2,000 types of mutual fund schemes are there. So everywhere around, with regard to payments, with regard to investments, with regard to savings, India's economy is taking a different shape. So that is the first theme around which the India's growth story revolves. Now the second theme around which India's growth story revolves is the digital public infrastructure. That because of the cheap data which is available, the mobile phone penetration which has come up, then this Aadhaar card linked schemes which have come up, and all this have helped us to create products and to provide services at a much lesser rate. I still remember one of the meeting which one of my friends shared with me. That was the board of governors meeting, the board meeting of HDFC Bank. And Mr. Puri used to be the MD of HDFC Bank, and he was the one who transformed HDFC Bank. And my friend who used to be the senior vice president with HDFC Bank, he used to say that we had a very tough time whenever we attend meetings with Mr. Puri, because he's a very hard taskmaster. And at that point of time, when this 2G rollout was there, and more people were buying SIM cards, and there were targets like selling SIM card in 2 minutes. So he came up with an idea. He said, if SIM card can be sold, a telephone connection can be provided in 2 minutes, why can't we also, open an account in 2 minutes? Then to give a loan in 2 minutes. And that was his vision, that was the idea which came to him. And that was made possible later on, because these days, because of this Aadhaar, because of this KYC, because of all these linkages of UPI and all, we see that even loans can be provided in 2 minutes now. So digital public infrastructure, is another theme around which that India has grown in the recent past, and that is giving foundations to this entrepreneurship and startup culture. The third very important theme around which India's growth story is revolving these days, that is about the discretionary spending. We know that India is a very young country, because more than 65% of our population that lies in the age group of 0 to 35. And being a young country, we know that we have more and more millennials, more and more Gen Z around, isn't it? And the thought process of these millennials or this Gen Z is altogether different. The way we think and the way, this young population thinks, That is altogether different. They want to invest in experiences. You know, we, the baby boomers and Generation X, we used to think about investing in physical assets. So that is the basic change. And that composition of population, having more and more, young population, that is shaping India's growth story in a different manner. That now the discretionary spending of people is increasing. You can see the food joints which are open, the cafes which are open, and the kind of experiences in which this youth is investing. So that is another area which is shaping India's entrepreneurship, India's startup, and India's growth story as well. So we'll be talking about these a little later. And the fourth theme around which India's economy is revolving these days, that is about our infrastructure sector. You know, the supply chains and the infrastructure which is getting created. Like, when I was coming today in the morning, I remember Killianwali from 1994 onwards. I was at Killianwali Sabo, and I spent around 10 years at Killianwali Sabo. And every day I used to read this name Killianwali because one of the bus used to, come from Mansa to Killianwali. But I've never been to Killianwali. I thought it's a very remote area, so I've never been to this place. But today when I was coming, I thought it would take around 4 hours for me. So I started a little early. So I started at around 6:30. But I was surprised the kind of roads which have come up. So it hardly took, 2 hours 45 minutes for me, which was, quite astonishing. And when we see around, the kind of roads, the kind of bridges, the kind of infrastructure which is getting created, that is also becoming a big enabler for in the coming years for India's growth story and India's startup and ecosystem for entrepreneurship as well. Then, of course, another important factor which is around India's economy, India's theme around India's growth story is the gig economy which has come. The gig economy means that where we have more and more freelancers. We don't have what we call it permanent employees, but most of the employees, they are contractual employees without any kind of social security and all. But that is an outcome of the innovations in the different models which have come up in the recent past. So all these themes around which India has grown in the recent past, that has given an ample space or ample opportunities for India's entrepreneurship and startup ecosystem. As Ma'am was talking about, that India is the third, third in terms of the startup and entrepreneurs which are coming up. Now, that is quite an interesting aspect. And when we say that, a $60 trillion economy, and when we talk about the jobless growth, then can we think that the government can create so huge amount of jobs, huge number of jobs to be given to the youth or to the population of India? Because when the politicians say, okay, you see how India is growing, the rich is becoming more rich, the poor is becoming more poorer, where are the jobs? Then when we say jobs, can government create all these jobs? Is it possible? Which is already struggling with the pension funds, with the the salary budgets and all. So it is not possible for India to, the government of India to give all the jobs to all the youth here. So the only alternative is that we should think about creating entrepreneurs. We should think about transforming our youth to become entrepreneurs. So with that objective in mind, it's very, very important for us at this platform where we have many of the students here and many of the educators here, because there is a very important role of educator in creating right kind of mindset amongst our students so that they can become entrepreneurs, you know. And then of course we have the practitioners here, Mr. Manish Bansal and Mr. Sethi, because I was telling them that you know, he said they want to listen to me, you know? And I just told them, I said, you know, those who can, they do, those who can't, they teach, you know. So they are the ones who have actually, you know, contributed, and we are the ones who are just, you know, giving lectures and all, you know. So you'll be benefited with that. So we have such kind of diverse audience where we have youth here, you know, who are the future of India. Then we have the faculty, the teachers here, who are supposed to, you know, transform the lives of the youth here so that, you know, they can think about becoming entrepreneurs. And then we have the practitioners here who have done, you know, something in this regard, and you can learn from their experiences also. So coming to, you know, the few slides which I have in this presentation, entrepreneurship and startups, dynamic realms of opportunities and challenges. Now, here, you know, the first slide, you know, some of the previous speakers have already talked about that, you know, it holds a lot of importance, you know, this entrepreneurship and startup, and we are the third largest economy in terms of entrepreneurship. Now, when it comes to this data point, that is about unicorns. Now, who's a unicorn? What is a unicorn? Unicorn is have you heard about unicorn? What is it? Yeah? $1 billion valuation within how much time? There is no fixed time. Some people say 3 years, some people say 5 years. But attaining $1 billion valuation in a quick time means a unicorn. So India is the third largest, you know, country in terms of unicorns, where the businesses have flourished very fast. And if we see this data point, that in the last 5 years, the growth in unicorns is quite spectacular. You know, in 2020, 2033, which moved to 54, 75, 95, and then 117. Now, this itself speaks that, you know, as far as India's startup culture, India's startup growth story is concerned, it looks quite promising. The way our, you know, unicorns, the way we are, you know, developing unicorns. Now, you see, people have already talked about what entrepreneurship is. It has something to do with, you know, innovation, something to do with creativity. At times, when we go to business schools and we see how their students are performing and how that institution is contributing towards the entrepreneurship and startup culture, many of the institutions will come up and they'll say, okay, you see, out of 100 students, 10 have become entrepreneurs. Okay, and when you ask them, okay, what kind of entrepreneurship they have, and they'll say, you see, they have started a new business. Now, a new business, or they have already joined the business of their parents. You know, that is not entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship means, okay, you come up with something new, come up with something innovative. So that is the key of entrepreneurship, which we always keep in mind. Identifying the gaps, meeting the needs effectively. I think we have a practitioner here, Mr. Nanak Sethi, who identified the need during the COVID time. Okay, what kind of, you know, gaps are there? What kind of needs are there? And innovate something to meet those needs. Only then you can be called as an entrepreneur. This Google or this Facebook or this WhatsApp or this Make My Trip or Ola example or Oyo example, you know, which the previous speakers have already talked about. You know how this Google started? It was just a master's project of two master students, you know, and you know, they innovated and there was an ecosystem in place to help them to flourish. That is how this Google came, which transformed our lives. You know, that is how many of the other projects, which we see these days, which are contributing towards the global growth story, they started with small steps. They started with baby steps. It's not that these organizations were like that since ages. They are very new organizations, started with very few new ideas, and that is how they flourished. Yeah. Government support policy initiatives, my previous speakers have already talked about, that government is coming up with the various policies, Startup India, then this Digital India, and then this Make in India, and catering to the different types of needs, this Atal Innovation Mission, because we in the colleges and universities and schools, there is a lot of importance attached to Atal Innovation Mission. Now, in this, you might have come across one board called Atal Tinkering Labs. In Atal Innovation Mission, there are labs which are created in the colleges, universities, and schools called Tinkering Labs, Atal Tinkering Labs. Now, let me reflect upon, one of my experience when I spent some time in IIT Bombay. Now, I was there basically for a leadership program for three or 4 weeks, and that was basically to groom senior professors of the universities for leadership position. That was a lead program, and in that program, one day was devoted to that how the university leaders should help to create an ecosystem where the students are given opportunities to innovate more. And IIT Bombay is one of the top IIT we know, which is contributing immensely towards innovations. And they took us to the tinkering lab there. Now tinkering का मतलब क्या होता है? Tinker करना चीजों, है ना? थोड़ा इधर से इधर कर देना, इधर से इधर करना, innovate करना, tinker करके, है ना? छेड़छाड़ करके जिसको हम कहते हैं. So, Tinkering Lab of IIT Bombay has a very, very important role in inculcating the innovation ecosystem in IIT Bombay. Now, what was that Tinkering Lab all about? When we went there, all the scrap material from the mechanical engineering department, from the electronics department, and from the other departments of IIT Bombay, they were lying in that tinkering lab. And the students were motivated to go there and to see that whatever is available there, how they can understand that and how they can make some better use of that, to tinker that and to come up with some innovation. And that kind of motivation, that kind of ecosystem was there, and that's why the government of India, through its Atal Innovation Mission, they have come up with Atal Tinkering Labs in various schools and colleges. So we as educators, we should not underestimate the importance of these tinkering labs, because it is a breeding ground for innovation. Because you get to the real life, otherwise lab equipments, other things are very expensive. But something which is scrap, still the students can make use of it to understand the basic things and then to leverage upon, something big on the basis of that. So the government of India has come up with the various, recently, in the recent budget, the government has created another 10,000 crore fund of funds for startup and ecosystem to create that. Yeah, next. Now, when it comes to another area, what is the purpose of education? When you come to colleges, you come to universities, your purpose is not here to come and to understand few things and you write your exams and you get the degrees, MBA, BSc, BCom degree or whatever. That is not the purpose of education. The purpose of education is that when you come to the educational institution, there should be some kind of change in your thought process. The way you think, the way you analyze, that should change. And a lot of data is there these days. Like, let me share one of my personal experience with you. One of my daughter, she's a doctor. And after she completed her MBBS, so I asked her, what do you want to do now? She said, of course, I want to do masters. I said, in which field you would like to do your masters? So what are your area of interest? And where you looking forward? And he said, I want to become a psychiatrist. I said, why psychiatrist? You think that this is something which has got a lot of importance? Or what fascinated you to do this? And you know the way she said, okay, mental health problems are likely to increase in the near future. I said, why? Because of the mobile phones, because of these, the screen time which we spend. People are not social. Otherwise, so we access a lot of social media, but we are not social. And this will lead to increase in the mental health problems in the years to come. And there will be a lot of opportunities, she say, for the doctors dealing with those particular problems. So the way you think, the way you imagine, on the basis of the things around, the way things are happening, that's very, very important. So when we see around in India, as I said, digital public infrastructure and this mobile phone penetration which has come up, so that is giving a lot of opportunities here. And AI, we all know that this is something which is a buzzword these days. Earlier, what was said, when computers will come, jobs will decrease. No jobs will be there because computers will be replacing the people, and the number of jobs will decline. But now the research says that no doubt that type of jobs have declined. In one of the countries, they took data of 1 year where they said, okay, because of computerization, 800,000 jobs were lost in 1 year. 800,000 jobs, 8 लाख जॉब जो थी वो कम हुई. ये काफी पुरानी बात मैं कर रहा हूँ. But they said कि 1.2 million jobs were created also. No doubt job loss भी होता है, but नई job create भी होती है. And what kind of jobs are created? With some new skills. Not that old skills are relevant, but new skills. You need to have new skills to get those jobs. So for that purpose, अभी हम बात कर रहे थे, when I reached here, कि जैसे Mr. Sethi से बात की, तो he was talking about Java, he was talking about Python, कि मैंने ये चीजें सीखी और उसके basis के ऊपर then he could become the entrepreneur, Android developer and all. So let me reflect upon my experience related to this. I was attending one HR summit in Chandigarh, because at that point of time I was director placements for Punjabi University Punjab. तो वहाँ पे बहुत सारे HR experts आए हुए थे कंपनी से, और they were saying कि बड़ा exciting हो गया कि बहुत changes आ रही हैं, and academics, the colleges, the universities, वो वैसा नहीं पढ़ा रहे जो होने चाहिए ना, कि जो नए सॉफ्टवेयर्स आ रहे हैं तो कॉलेजेस यूनिवर्सिटीज वो चीजें नहीं पढ़ा रहे. तो जो लास्ट में जिन्होंने बोलना था ना, ही वाज डायरेक्टर ऑफ पैक पंजाब इंजीनियरिंग कॉलेज. तो जब सब लोग बोल हटे तो उनकी जब बारी आई तो उन्होंने कहा कि मैं 2 घंटे 2.5 घंटे से आप लोगों की बातें सुन रहा हूँ, and he said this is all bullshit. And when he used this word all bullshit, सभी लोग हैरान कि how you think he can use such harsh language, for such a respected community around. What he said, how he justified, though I'm not saying what he said was correct, the word which he used was correct. But what he said was, he said that as director of PEC, 5 साल पहले HRs used to come और कहते जी आप जावा पढ़ानी शुरू करो, हमने जावा पढ़ानी शुरू कर दी। नेक्स्ट ईयर आए, कहते नहीं जी जावा नहीं, अब आप पाइथन पढ़ानी शुरू करो, कहते हमने वो पढ़ानी शुरू कर दी। फिर आए अब भी आप ये पढ़ानी शुरू करो, है ना। तो कहता आप लोग हमें ये क्यों नहीं कहते कि बेसिक C++ अच्छी तरह से पढ़ाओ, बिकॉज दैट इज मदर ऑफ ऑल लैंग्वेजेस, है ना। अगर किसी के बेसिक स्ट्रॉन्ग हैं तो whatever changes are coming up, he will embrace those changes, है ना। So that is a very important lesson कि जब हम as young students की बात करते हैं, तो अगर आपके बेसिक्स अच्छे हैं and you have a right kind of mindset and you have quick learning abilities, then whatever disruptions are there, whatever new changes are coming up, you can always brace those changes very well. No? So you cannot brace those changes without having your basics strong. No? So that's why we say कि when we say AI, अब AI की बात एक मिनट हो रही थी, कंप्यूटराइजेशन की बात थी, अब AI की बात ये हो रही है कि because of AI there are likely to be job losses. बहुत सारी jobs redundant हो जाएंगी, irrelevant हो जाएंगी। टीचर्स के बारे में भी ऐसा ही कहा जाता है ना कि टीचर्स की जॉब भी irrelevant हो जाएगी, है ना। और वो मेरे को आई एम रिमाइंडेड ऑफ वन ऑफ द एग्जांपल दैट इज अबाउट डायनासोर्स, ना। We all know that dinosaurs used to exist 55 billion years ago, and they have gone extinct. Why they have gone extinct? One of the reasons for that extinction is that people say that they are not in a position to adapt with a changed environment. That's how they have gone extinct. But you'll be surprised to know that cockroaches जो थे वो जब से डायनासोर सबसे पहले के हैं, and cockroaches are still around. And why they are still around? Their adaptability to change. No? So our environment around us is also changing, and it's changing very fast. But if we want that we should stay relevant, then it's very important that हमारी जो learning abilities हैं, that should be worked upon. That we should be quick learners with having strong basics. So whatever new changes will come, we can brace that. So we cannot underestimate the importance of it. So even if the AI has come, no doubt job losses will be there, but new jobs will also be created, new opportunities will also be created with this. That is what our history suggests us. Then access to funding. We know that, as I said, one of the theme of India's growth story is financialization. 2024, when we had a dream run in the financial markets for almost 50 months, and that led to, not many IPOs last year, and most of those IPOs were in the small and medium enterprises sector, SME platform, and most of the IPOs were oversubscribed and overvalued also. पहले से उनकी वैल्यू बड़ी ज्यादा थी, and they were oversubscribed also. So when it comes to the funding issues related to startup ecosystem, that is there. But as far as whatever history tells us, or when we compare the kind of format which we have, or the kind of opportunities which we have in terms of quality of funding, or quality of funding opportunities, that is not still comparable with the countries which have created best of the ecosystem. So there are still obstacles, there are still challenges, which are not, creating that kind of right environment which we need to talk about. Another is, as I said, growing consumer market and middle class expansion. Now, we have talked about, one of the themes, that is discretionary spending is one of the theme of India's growth story. कि लोग होटलों में खाना खाने ज़्यादा जा रहे हैं, tourism point of view से ज़्यादा घूम रहे हैं, है ना? They want to invest in experiences, and there is a rising middle class, which we say. But You know, all this dream run of last 3 or 4 years, when we see our markets were booming, you know, there is a stop on that. And what we are seeing now, okay, there is some kind of correction which is coming up. And a lot of concerns are about India's growth story. कि ये जो हम इतनी ज्यादा हमारी शेयर मार्केट ऊपर जा रही थी, है ना, हम कह रहे थे कि हम इतना फास्ट पेस पे ग्रो कर रहे हैं, तो क्या ये सब एक्चुअल में है भी, या ये सब स्टोरी एक पिक्चर हमें दिखाई गई है? So if we listen to the data which is coming up, we have not listened to the data earlier also, क्योंकि जब हम स्टॉक मार्केट में PE ratios की बात करते थे, है ना, कि मतलब PE ratios touching 70, 80, 100, ना, किसी भी कंट्री में इतनी हाई PE ratios नहीं है जितनी इंडिया में थी, even for small stock. Now that reflects what? कि earnings उतनी नहीं है, but because of the liquidity in the market, you know, not many people are investing in the share market, which is increasing demand for the shares, and that is how the market prices were going up. But somehow now it has been realized that India की जो growth story है, earnings of the corporate sector, that is not so optimistic, that is not so promising. And why they are not so promising? The reason is they say that consumption is not there. कि लोग बना तो रहे हैं, है ना, तो बना के क्या करेंगे अगर वो लोग बाय नहीं करेंगे? If people are not consuming it. And when we say that consumption, कि पिछले 3-4 साल में तो बड़ी अच्छी consumption थी, India's luxury market was booming like anything, बड़ी कार, बड़े luxury product बिक रहे थे, but there was a real problem. That real problem was our, you know, the lower end of the pyramid. पिरामिड की बात करते हैं हम, एक तो ऊपर वाले लोग हैं, है ना, एक है जो नीचे, जो लोअर एंड ऑफ द पिरामिड है, the bottom of the pyramid जिसको हम बोलते हैं, those living in rural areas, the agriculture sector, you know, the other people who are at the lower strata of the society. Something wrong is there. That is one sector which is really stressed out. उनकी incomes increase नहीं हो रही है, और अगर उनकी income increase नहीं होगी तो how they will buy, because they have more propensity to consume. अगर वो उनकी income नहीं increase होगी, वो buy नहीं करेंगे, तो वो middle class तक कैसे पहुंचेंगे? Because there is a cycle, ना, कि जो चीजें आप buy करते हो, you know, the lower end people, bottom of the pyramid, उसका impact middle class पे होता है, middle class जो करती है उसका impact upper class पे होता है. But our problem is कि why, when we see this, when we look at this particular point, the growing consumer market and middle class expansion, a lot of opportunities are there in the lower, on the bottom of the pyramid, where some interventions are needed, some innovations are needed, you know, so that, you know, their incomes increase, you know, their access to markets, their access to, you know, innovation increases. If that increases, only then India's growth story will be more promising. You know? So presently, we have come at a stage where we see that you know, this kind of growth story is not sustainable unless and until the bottom of the pyramid is taken care of. So, but otherwise, you know, when we see the way things are changing around, so our middle class is playing a very important role here. Now, gig economy and remote work economy. When the data regarding jobs comes, कि इंडिया में jobs create हो रही हैं कि क्यों नहीं create हो रही, है ना? तो when that data comes and that data is analyzed, तो उसमें there are two sectors which are contributing or which are creating jobs in a big numbers. Now, what are these two sectors? One is the real estate sector, the infrastructure sector, and second is the retail sector. Infrastructure sector, because government is spending a lot of money, a lot of capex is coming up, and because of that capex, ये जो roads, infrastructure ये जो बन रहा है, बहुत सारी jobs create हुई, but what kind of jobs are those? More than 85% of the job created in the infrastructure sector, they are low productivity jobs. Unskilled labor, is employed there. Can we think of becoming a Viksit Bharat with that kind of job scenario? There's a question mark. Second is, all these Zomato, Swiggy, Flipkart, Amazon, bike pay, delivery boys are there. A lot of jobs are created in that particular segment also. That is another major contributing factors towards job creation in India. Again, when we look at the kind of jobs which are created there, are they good kind of jobs? They are not good quality jobs. So the need of the hour is that, though the gig economy is coming up, freelancers are coming up, but when we compare India, even with a country like Bangladesh, the kind of freelancers which Bangladesh is producing and the kind of productivity performance they have, India stands nowhere to that. Though Bangladesh is a very small country, kitna hamare baat se wo create hua, but in most of the parameters, they are doing very well, better than us, even in the ICT sector. In ICT sector, the kind of freelancers they have, they are much better than us. So when we look at this, the gig economy is giving us a lot of opportunities in the sense that supply chain networks are there. So that is giving ideas or the wings to the dreams of the people who really want to start up with something new. कि supply chain network is there. अगर आपने कहीं से भी remote part of India से भी कुछ मंगवाना है तो supply chains are there. जैसे पीछे मेरे को पता चला कि one of my friend, he was wearing a बंद गला suit, बंद गला कोट उन्होंने डाला हुआ था. तो मैंने उनसे पूछा, मैंने कहा ये थोड़ा different लग रहा है ना, तो ये मतलब from where you got this fabric? He said it's very warm and it's handmade. So I asked him from where you got this handmade. So he talked about, he said कि वो हिमाचल में एक नवी फेयर लगता है रामपुर शहर में, है ना, रामपुर शहर में, तो वहाँ पे दिवाली के बाद वो मेला लगता है, तो वहाँ पे लोग बुन के ये लेके आते हैं. So if you want it, you'll have to catch hold of somebody during that time period in that. तो किसी को बोला, वहाँ से उन्होंने लिया in a remote part of हिमाचल और बड़ी efficiently उसकी delivery मतलब हो गई within 1.5 to 2 days. So ये जो हमारी गिग इकोनॉमी आ रही है, जिससे supply chain networks हमारे बहुत improve हो रहे हैं, so that is giving more opportunities for startups and innovation. So ये जो सब हम कहते हैं कि digital infrastructure, supply chain infrastructure which is getting created, that will be creating a lot of opportunities in the years to come to flourish this startup culture. Then challenges, regulatory compliance hurdles. आप सब लोगों ने ease of doing business के बारे में सुना होगा, कि there is a data also कि पिछले कुछ सालों में इंडिया की जो ease of doing business rankings है, वो काफी improve हुई है. Earlier we were at 140th spot around 10-12 years back, but now we are at a 61st spot. So when these rankings used to come, then I got a little interested in knowing कि ये हमारा जो rank है ये 140th होता है. ये such a great country, and I have spent some time in underdeveloped countries also. तो जब मैं देखता था कि उन countries का rank इंडिया से ज़्यादा मतलब better है. Like Rwanda is one country where I stayed for some time, and a very remote country. ना कुछ भी इंडिया के comparison में तो कुछ भी नहीं था वहाँ. But then उनका rank 66th और इंडिया का rank जो था 130th. So then I started exploring कि ये जो ease of doing business ranking ये वो जब सब कुछ आता है, इसके पीछे क्या है? What's the background behind it? कि how come these small countries can have better ranking than us? तो उसमें when we look at the different parameters, so no doubt our e-governance, our ICT system, and all our new innovation which have come up, they are contributing immensely. बट एक जो पॉइंट है जिसपे हमारा जो रैंक काफी पीछे जाता है वो है दिस ट्रांसफर ऑफ प्रॉपर्टी एक्ट। ये जो लैंड एक्विजिशंस हैं ना, दैट क्रिएट्स लॉट ऑफ प्रॉब्लम्स ना। आप देखते ही हो कि पंजाब में अभी भी वो जम्मू कटरा हाईवे इतना अच्छा बन गया, तो पंजाब में अभी भी नहीं बना। क्यों नहीं बना? कहते जी लैंड एक्विजिशन नहीं होने दे रहे फार्मर्स, है ना। सो एक्वायरिंग लैंड इज ए चैलेंज हियर। तो बट दोज कंट्रीज जहाँ पे ये ट्रांसफर ऑफ प्रॉपर्टी एक्ट है ही नहीं है, वो तो आप गवर्नमेंट के पास जाओ, गवर्नमेंट आपको जगह अलॉट कर देती है, दैट्स इट। And that is how the ease of doing business rankings are much better than us. But still, you know, though we have done a lot on ease of doing business, but still the regulatory hurdles and the other kind of hurdles, like India में I'd say 20 साल पहले से हम एक point सुनते आ रहे हैं कि single window clearance, कि अगर आपने business शुरू करना है तो why somebody should go here and there to get the clearances? Why can't we have a single window where you apply online and you get clearances for that? है ना? तो वो हार्डली एक या दो स्टेट्स हैं, चाहे ये प्रोजेक्ट 20-22 साल से चल रहा है, बट एक या दो स्टेट्स हैं जिन्होंने इम्प्लीमेंट किया। सो वी स्टिल हैव ए लॉन्ग वे टू गो as far as the regulations are concerned, as far as our governance systems are concerned. GST के ऊपर सर बताएंगे कि one of the problem, why our lower जो हमारा strata है, bottom of the pyramid, why it is stressed, why SMEs are stressed. One of the reason is कि we have not been emphasizing on the quality of accounting information. We have not been giving that much to accounting. CS के बारे में छोटा सा जोक आपके साथ शेयर करता हूँ। एक बार I met, when this Enron scandal was going on. It's 25 years. So I met one of my colleagues. She was from US. तो हम कुछ डिस्कशन कर रहे थे, तो चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट्स के बारे में उन्होंने मेरे को कहा कि because that was a scandal created by the CAs only. तो अभी भी वो इंडिया में काफी एप्लीकेबल है कई पॉइंट्स के ऊपर। कहते जी कि अगर आप किसी से पूछो कि 2+2 कितने होते हैं, you ask a mathematician, he'll say 2+2 is 4. कहते अगर मैनेजमेंट वालों से पूछो कि कितने होते हैं 2+2, 5, because synergy effect भी होता है, 2+2 may be equal to 5. तो कहते अगर चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट से पूछो कि 2+2 is how many, तो कहते वो जाएगा दरवाजा बंद करेगा और आपके आके पूछेगा बताओ कितने चाहते हो आप। इंडिया में अगर हम देखते हैं ना कि why GST implementation issues are there, why the our small and medium enterprises, why they are under stress, they are not in a position to cope up with the GST regime. One of the reasons is the quality of accounting practices which they follow, because उसकी वजह से they are not in a position to compete, and that is how India की economy में जो formal economy का share है that is increasing और जो informal economy का share है that is declining, and something need to be done कि more and more population, because more than 90% of the population is in the informal sector, so something need to be done to take them to the formal system, and for that purpose, understanding the laws, understanding the system, and the government should also streamline that. So that's very, very important. That is another challenge for entrepreneurs. Yeah. Access to capital, ये हमने already बात कर ली, कोई नहीं हो रहा है. Talent acquisition, skill gaps, brain drain, ये एक बहुत बड़ा challenge है. हम इसके ऊपर थोड़ी सी बात करेंगे because we have an audience comprising of the future of India, the young students. कि when it comes to the employability of India's youth, so 2001 में the international experts used to say that India will become an economic superpower thanks to the demographic dividend. Because India is a young country and it can reap its demographic dividend, and that is why India can become an economic superpower by 2020. So 2020 is already gone. where we are, we are nowhere. And ever since, that idea came, now they have started saying it is not a demographic dividend, it's a demographic disaster. Why? Because the kind of transformation which is required in the youth of India, that is not taking place. तो जो पर्पस एक एजुकेशन का होता है, एजुकेशन का पर्पस डिग्रीज देना नहीं होता है, एजुकेशन का पर्पस आपकी थॉट प्रोसेस को इन्फ्लुएंस करना होता है कि द वे यू थिंक, द वे यू एनालाइज, द वे यू डू द रीजनिंग, है ना, आपको कुछ अच्छे बड़े सपने दिखाने होते हैं सो दैट यू कैन थिंक अबाउट दोज अपॉर्चुनिटीज, है ना। तो वो जो है, जब मैं डायरेक्टर प्लेसमेंट्स था तो गवर्नमेंट के कई इंटरव्यूज में जाने का मतलब अपॉर्चुनिटी मिलती थी। तो when people say कि there are no jobs, and the industry people used to say कि no, there are plenty of jobs, but right kind of people are not there. So there is a skill gap, you know. So somehow the kind of expectations which the industry is having and the kind of supply or the kind of capacity building which we are doing in the colleges and universities, there is a big gap in that, you know. So with that gap in place, we cannot think of becoming a Viksit Bharat, you know. So those will be dreams only. As in 2020 में कहते थे कि it will be an economic superpower. Still we are nowhere, you know. So इसके लिए जो हमारा youth है, ना, उसकी भी बड़ी importance है. And colleges and universities जो also have a very important role here. Now, marketing competition, 90% of the startups fail within the first 5 years because of the market saturation and intense competition. Product life cycles are becoming very short, है ना, कि जो आप आज use कर रहे हो, है ना, after maybe 1 year you may not be interested, you may not feel like doing it or using that product, है ना. So technology इतनी fast आ रही है कि product life cycles are becoming very short. So that's why you innovated something now, है ना, but you realize कि that has become obsolete because some other product has already taken over. तो वो मेरे को एक book याद आती है. There's a very good book which all students must read. Who Moved My Cheese? ना, a very interesting book. बड़ी छोटी सी किताब है वो. तो उसमें बड़ी अच्छी impactful story है कि दो मतलब माइस होती हैं, चूहियां होती हैं, एक ग्रुप ऑफ माइस, है ना, उनको बहुत बड़ा सारा एक ना पनीर का ढेर मिल जाता है, एक चीज मतलब उनको मिल जाता है. तो कुछ को ये लगता है कि बहुत कुछ मिल गया, कि हमारी लाइफ में तो इतना ही बहुत है and we can spend our whole life with this much amount of quantity which we have got. But then there is another group of the same mice who says कि no, अब ये मिल गया, let us explore further. और क्या है इसके आगे, और क्या है, and कुछ देर में जो तो वही रह जाती है उनका वो खत्म हो जाता है, और जो आगे चले जाते हैं उनके लिए और अपॉर्चुनिटीज आ जाती है. Couple of months back I was in Bangalore. तो वहाँ पे एक मैनेजमेंट इंस्टीट्यूट था और उसकी एक डायरेक्टर थी, और we were on some inspection there. तो उससे पहले मैं MBA गुड़गांव में किसी इंस्पेक्शन में गया था, सिमिलर इंस्पेक्शन MBA बोलते हैं इसको. तो मेरे साथ IIM अहमदाबाद के डायरेक्टर थे, and we were not happy at all with the way the director of MDI gave the presentation. Because we thought that our expectation from MDI director was much more. But जब हम बैंगलोर गए तो वो लेडी ने जो डायरेक्टर, but the moment she started presenting, तो we were really overwhelmed कि कितनी अच्छी तरीके से उन्होंने presentation दी. तो वो IIM के डायरेक्टर थे और मैं एक दूसरे के मुंह में देख रहे थे कि देखो एक वो presentation थी, एक ये presentation. तो बाद में during the process उनकी जब हम इवैल्यूएशन कर रहे थे तो ये बुक का रेफरेंस आया, बिकॉज दे टॉक्ड अबाउट वन बुक, 6 थिंकिंग हैट्स. देन आई सेड देयर इज अनदर गुड बुक यू शुड इंट्रोड्यूस कॉल्ड हु मूव्ड माय चीज. तो वो लेडी ने सुन लिया, वो डायरेक्टर, तो वो सुन के कहती सर आई वांट टू से समथिंग. ओके, ही सेड दिस इज वन बुक व्हिच चेंज्ड माय लाइफ. आई सेड हाउ? He said, पहले मैं एक गवर्नमेंट कॉलेज में आई वाज अ लेक्चरर और गवर्नमेंट जॉब थी, वेरी स्टेबल जॉब, नो प्रेशर्स नथिंग। कहती फिर मैंने ये बुक पढ़ी और फिर मेरे को लगा कि नहीं, ये तो मैं फिर कंफर्ट जोन में आ गई, माय लाइफ इज नॉट दिस, आई डिजर्व मोर। उन्होंने वो कहते जब मैंने ये बुक पढ़ी तो उसके बाद शी सेड आई रिजाइन्ड फ्रॉम अ गवर्नमेंट जॉब व्हिच वाज वेरी डेयरिंग स्टेप, एंड देन शी सेड आई स्टार्टेड विद सम रिसर्च इंस्टीट्यूशन कुछ अपनी कैपेसिटी बिल्डिंग की, और उसके बाद यू नो द वे शी हैज ग्रोन दैट वाज स्पेक्टेकुलर। सो जब हम बात करते हैं ना ये स्टार्टअप के फेल हो जाते हैं, कंपटीशन बहुत ज्यादा है, कंपटीशन तो ज्यादा है, नो डाउट अबाउट इट, बट यू नीड टू कंटिन्यूअसली इनोवेट, इनोवेशन शुड बी पार्ट ऑफ योर डीएनए, यू कैन नॉट स्टिक टू समथिंग। नेक्स्ट प्लीज। डिजिटल डिवाइड है अभी भी, है ना, अभी भी हम कहते हैं कि अभी ना पिछले कुछ समय में मेरे को नैक विजिट्स में जाने का मौका मिला, तो कई बार इतने रिमोट एरियाज में विजिट आती हैं, एंड आई ऑफन से यस टू दैट, क्योंकि मेरा पर्पस सिर्फ एक होता है, ऐसा नहीं है कि मतलब इतनी अच्छी जगह पे जाके वैसी जगह पे भी आप जाओ, जैसे अभी एक जगह पे मैं गया झारखंड में, है ना, पहले उत्तराखंड जाके आया, तो बड़े रिमोट एरिया, तो वहां पे जाके ये पता चलता है कि इंडिया जो है, जो हम देख रहे हैं सभी, वो भी इंडिया नहीं है, अभी बहुत सारा इंडिया, बहुत सारा भारत ऐसा भी है जहाँ पे बहुत अभी भी अंडर प्रिविलेज्ड लोग हैं, कैपेसिटीज नहीं है, इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर नहीं है, ना, एंड दैट रिमाइंड्स अस, जैसे मिस्टर सेठी ने कहा ना, तो मेरे को अभी भी याद आता है, किसी ने कहा कि किसी जगह पे भेजा कंसल्टेंट्स को, 2 तरह के कंसल्टेंट्स कि जाके देख के आओ वहाँ पे कुछ अपॉर्चुनिटीज हैं, तो कहते कि एक टीम ऑफ कंसल्टेंट्स वापस आके बोले कि नो दैट प्लेस इज पैथेटिक, देयर आर नो अपॉर्चुनिटीज, यू नो पीपल ओवर देयर डोंट इवन वियर शूज। और कहते दूसरे जो कंसल्टेंट थे, सेटअप कंसल्टेंट, वो भी आए, कहते नो देयर इज लॉट ऑफ अपॉर्चुनिटीज, यू नो पीपल डोंट इवन वियर शूज, है ना, तो वो भी एक अपॉर्चुनिटी है, द वे यू लुक एट इट, है ना, दैट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट। So lot of digital divide, lot of India is still underprivileged. So entrepreneurs can always think about exploring somewhere. Most of startups अभी बड़े cities पे concentrated हैं, Bangalore, Hyderabad, Delhi, Bombay, Pune, है ना. So ये जो digital public infrastructure है, this is giving us an opportunities. Even 2-tier cities are coming up, like Jaipur is coming up, now Coimbatore is coming up, so there are opportunities which are coming up. Next one. Now इस पे थोड़ा सा हम बात करेंगे, मेरे को पता है सभी
नहीं सर,
so ये because बहुत सारे टीचर्स यहाँ पे बैठे हैं, है ना, तो ये हम कहते हैं कि एंटरप्रेन्योरियल माइंडसेट होना चाहिए स्टूडेंट्स का। तो ये जो माइंडसेट होता है, कोई कहता है कि एंटरप्रेन्योर, जैसे कहते हैं मैनेजर्स आर नॉट मेड, दे आर बॉर्न, ये एंटरप्रेन्योर्स आर नॉट मेड, दे आर बॉर्न, बट you know the colleges and the universities, the education institutions, they have a very important role to play here to develop the entrepreneurial mindset amongst the students. एक पहले एग्जाम्पल शेयर करता हूँ, बिकॉज आई नो हाउ डिफिकल्ट इट इज टू कनेक्ट विद जेन ज़ी, है ना, तो इसीलिए वैसे एग्जाम्पल इनको देनी पड़ती है। यू मस्ट हैव हर्ड अबाउट नितेश तिवारी, who is a film director, नितेश तिवारी, जिसने दंगल मूवी बनाई, जिसने ये छिछोरे मूवी बनाई, है ना। यू बी सरप्राइज टू नो कि वो IIM बॉम्बे के ग्रेजुएट हैं, he did BTech from IIT Bombay. तो जब मैं वो लीडरशिप प्रोग्राम लगा रहा था, तो एक दिन एक सेशन उन्होंने भी लिया, तो जब उनको इंट्रोड्यूस करवाया गया बाय द डायरेक्टर ऑफ IIT Bombay, तो उन्होंने कहा, कहते जी ये है मिस्टर नितेश, ही इज अ वेरी सक्सेसफुल फिल्म डायरेक्टर, है ना, And IIT Bombay doesn't offer any program in filmmaking or film direction, but still he is a very successful film director. He doesn't have any formal education in film direction. And he said, I don't think we contributed towards his success in any way, because IIT Bombay doesn't have these types of programs. तो उनको ये लगता था कि हमने IIT Bombay में इसकी कैरियर के लिए कुछ नहीं किया. But when Mr. Nitesh Tiwari started, speaking, his own mind, he said कि no, कि ये जो मेरे माइंड में क्रिएटिविटी की बात आई कि I should pursue my career in some creative, business or creative venture. तो वो जो हमारा कॉलेज था जो IIT बॉम्बे में, जो डिफरेंट टाइप्स ऑफ क्लब्स बने हुए थे वहाँ पे, प्रोफेशनल सोसाइटीज बनी हुई थी, एंड वो जो एक्टिविटीज करवाते थे, उन एक्टिविटीज का बड़ा एक इम्पॉर्टेंट रोल था मेरे को क्रिएटिव बनाने के लिए और मेरे जो क्रिएटिव टैलेंट था उसको नर्चर करने के लिए ना. और उन एक्टिविटीज में जब उसने पार्टिसिपेट किया, then he realized that I will not be a job seeker. I will be an entrepreneur. I will do something different. I will be job creator. So हम कहते हैं कि कॉलेजेस यूनिवर्सिटीज का रोल एंटरप्रेन्योरियल माइंडसेट में होता है कि जब हम बहुत सारी एक्टिविटीज करवाते हैं, है ना, बहुत सारे लोग सीखते हैं कहाँ से कि अगर आप जैसे मनीष जी आज लेक्चर देंगे, मिस्टर सेठी से नो दे आर द रोल मॉडल्स कि जिन्होंने एक्चुअल में कुछ कंट्रीब्यूट किया. जब उनकी आप सक्सेस स्टोरी सुनते हो तो दैट आल्सो गिव्स यू सम आइडिया कि हम भी कुछ करें. तो एंटरप्रेन्योरियल माइंडसेट जनोदा की एग्जांपल है कि अपने फादर का वो डीमैट अकाउंट चलाते चलाते ही बिकेम सच ए सक्सेसफुल. तो नेक्स्ट प्लीज. जब हम क्रिएटिविटी की बात करते हैं, रेजिलियंस, अडेप्टेबिलिटी, विजन एंड पैशन, है ना, ये इसकी की ट्रेट्स हैं. I'll not be spending too much on this theoretical aspect, but जो इसमें इम्पोर्टेंट चीज है नेक्स्ट कि एजुकेटर्स का क्या रोल कि we as teachers what we should do to come up with a kind of environment which can promote the entrepreneurial mindset. तो उसमें entrepreneurial thinking, है ना, इस पे बात करेंगे हम थोड़ा, mentorship and to facilitate interdisciplinary collaborations. जब हम प्रोफेशनल सोसाइटीज की बात करते हैं, प्रोफेशनल क्लब्स इन द कॉलेजेस की बात करते हैं, don't underestimate the importance of those because they still can create lot many opportunities for the student. What we have observed, जैसे डायनासोर्स की बात कर रहे थे कि अब सब कुछ अगर ऑनलाइन हो जाए, जो क्लासों में पढ़ाते हैं, है ना, वो सारे लेक्चर्स तो अवेलेबल हैं यूट्यूब के ऊपर या बाकी आईसीटी प्लेटफॉर्म के ऊपर. डोंट यू थिंक कि टीचर की जरूरत ही नहीं है, क्योंकि अगर किसी ने कुछ सीखना है वो यूट्यूब पे जाए, वो लेक्चर सुन ले, बेस्ट ऑफ द लेक्चर और बेस्ट ऑफ द रिसोर्स पर्सन इज अवेलेबल. बट a very quick lesson from COVID-19 is when we all were moved to online teaching and we realized कि कितने learning losses हुए थे, कितने learning gaps आए. And that quickly takes us to the realization कि the purpose of education is not कि उनको कुछ topic पढ़ाए, कुछ concept पढ़ाए, that's it. The purpose of education is to work upon their cognitive skills कि जब वो class में आते हैं, जब वो classes में कुछ activities में participate करते हैं और अपने teachers से, अपने बाकियों से जब वो observe करके जो learn करते हैं, that has a lot of importance and you cannot underestimate that. So colleges and universities, education institutions have a very important role to play to create an environment where the student can think about something creative, think about something innovative. So usme that goes a long way in that, and providing mentorship and connect students with the industry. So mentor-mentee relationship jo hai कि let me share one more example with you. That is about the CEO of Tata Group of Companies, Mr. Chandrasekhar. वो जब मैं वो लीडरशिप प्रोग्राम कर रहा था तो he came for one of the session. तो उन्होंने अपने experiences share किए कि how he could become a very good corporate leader. He had a very humble background, but he could become a very good corporate leader to reach to a position of the CEO of Tata Group of Companies. तो he said कि मेरे एक टीचर का मेरे को एक अच्छा कॉर्पोरेट लीडर बनाने में बड़ा इंपॉर्टेंट रोल है. एंड व्हाट वाज दैट रोल? वो कहते हैं कि जी मैं जब 9th या 10th क्लास में था तो कहते हैं एक बार मैं बीमार हो गया और काफी ज्यादा बीमार हो गया और माय एग्जाम्स वर अप्रोचिंग और he said doctors declared कि you cannot write your exams because you cannot go to school, you are so sick. So कहते I was disappointed. So but that is how he thought कि destiny is. तो कहते जब ये बात मेरे टीचर्स को पता चली कि he will not be in a position to write his exams because he cannot come to school, he is sick. तो कहते एक टीचर ने कहा कि अगर वो स्कूल नहीं आ सकता एग्जाम देने के लिए, क्या स्कूल उसके घर नहीं जा सकता ताकि वो एग्जाम दे पाए और उसको हम मतलब हेल्प कर सके. तो कहते दिस प्रपोजल ऑफ द टीचर वाज एक्सेप्टेड बाय द स्कूल. और फिर कहते जितने भी मेरा पेपर होता था एक टीचर मेरे घर पे आता था, मेरे को एग्जाम देते थे, मैं एग्जाम करता था और दैट इज हाउ आई यूज्ड टू पास. तो कहते वो एक जो टीचर का जेस्चर था उसका इतना परमानेंट इम्प्रिंट हुआ मेरे ऊपर ना कि व्हेन यू ग्रो लिटिल ओल्ड ना तो आप यू मस्ट हेल्प द यंगस्टर्स टू सक्सीड. वी एज टीचर्स we have a very important role here to empathize with the student and to help them to succeed. तो कहते कॉर्पोरेट में भी जब मैं आया तो कॉर्पोरेट में आके कहते मेरी सक्सेस का राज यही है कि मैं अपने यंगस्टर्स की हेल्प करता हूँ टू मेक देम सक्सेसफुल. जब वो सक्सेसफुल हो जाते हैं मेरी सक्सेसफुल हो जाती है. सो मेंटरिंग mentor-mentee relationship for active students is very important. तो प्रोजेक्ट बेस्ड लर्निंग वर्कशॉप्स विद इंडस्ट्री एक्सपर्ट्स बहुत जरूरी है ना. इनोवेशन चैलेंजेस जैसे टिंकरिंग लैब, इंक्यूबेशन सेंटर की बात कर रहे हैं, दे आर वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. इसमें इंडस्ट्री एकेडमिया लिंकेजेस ना, कोई भी जो अच्छा एजुकेशन इंस्टीट्यूशन है हम उसमें देखते हैं कि मतलब व्हेन यू लुक फ्रॉम अबव ना कि कितने गेस्ट लेक्चर्स इंडस्ट्री एक्सपर्ट ने दिए है ना. और वो जो इंडस्ट्री एक्सपर्ट्स आते हैं कुछ ना कुछ आइडिया जैसे अभी आपके साथ शेयर करेंगे, उससे आपको कुछ ना कुछ एक रे ऑफ होप जाती है, आपके कुछ रोल मॉडल बनते हैं है ना, आपके कुछ अच्छे सपने. क्योंकि एजुकेशन इंस्टीट्यूशन का ये भी बड़ा इंपॉर्टेंट ऑब्जेक्टिव होता है कि बच्चों को बड़े बड़े सपने दें है ना, सो दैट दे कैन थिंक बिग. और सक्सेस स्टोरीज वाले अगर आप सक्सेस स्टोरी शेयर करें तो दैट इज दे कैन बिकम रोल मॉडल्स एंड दैट कैन हेल्प द यंगस्टर्स टू वर्क टू स्ट्राइव टू यू नो बी लाइक दैट ना. सो ये बड़ा इंपॉर्टेंट रोल प्ले करता है कि एक्सपोजिंग देम विद रियल एक्सपोजर, गेस्ट लेक्चर्स, जॉइंट रिसर्च इनिशिएटिव ना, ऑल दिस. नाउ टिंकरिंग लैब की हम बात कर रहे थे कि टिंकरिंग लैब्स you know the government is prioritizing this a lot. अगर आपके यहाँ साइंस डिपार्टमेंट्स हैं या अदर डिपार्टमेंट्स हैं तो इसका एक बड़ा इम्पोर्टेंट रोल है स्टूडेंट की क्रिटिकल थिंकिंग को डेवलप करने के लिए. तो थोड़ा सा और ये एंटरप्रेन्योरियल माइंडसेट डेवलप करने के लिए क्रिटिकल थिंकिंग का बहुत रोल है ना कि हमारे जो स्टूडेंट्स हैं और एक तो होता है कि आपके पास जो इंफॉर्मेशन आई है ना, आपने वो इंफॉर्मेशन पढ़ ली एंड दैट्स इट. नाउ दैट इज नॉट व्हाट एजुकेशन मेक्स यू डू. आजकल हम सब लोग इंफॉर्मेशन एज में हैं एंड दिस इंफॉर्मेशन एज या ये इंफॉर्मेशन है, इफ इट इज ऑफ नो यूज इफ इट इज नॉट कन्वर्टेड इनटू नॉलेज. And knowledge is of no use if it is not converted into wisdom. एक छोटी सी स्टोरी आपके साथ शेयर करता हूँ, maybe the last one because I hope.
Please carry
तो like अगर हम बात करें ना कि ये हमारे 5 उंगलियां हैं, है ना? इसमें सबसे वैल्यूएबल कौन सी आउट ऑफ 5? आउट ऑफ 5 विच इज द मोस्ट वैल्यूएबल? व्हाई थंब? ग्रिप बनती है इससे, है ना? हमसे ग्रिप बनती है, दैट मेक्स इट वैल्यूएबल। और कुछ है जी? ऑल आर इक्वली डन, बट थंब में एक बड़ी इंपॉर्टेंट चीज है, मोस्ट वैल्यूएबल, इट्स एबिलिटी टू कनेक्ट विद ऑल नोड्स। नो अदर फिंगर कैन कनेक्ट विद ईच अदर। सो व्हाट मेक्स यू वैल्यूएबल ना, इसके बारे में वी मस्ट थिंक। वो स्टोरी ये है कि दैट इज अबाउट कि जब हम क्रिटिकल थिंकिंग की बात करते हैं कि इंफॉर्मेशन इज नॉट एवरीथिंग। दैट स्टोरी इज अबाउट कि एक पुराने जमाने में एक राजा था, तो उसके पास कोई बाहर से कोई विजिटर आया और उसने आके कहा जी कि मैं देखना चाहता हूँ कि आपकी रियासत में कितने पढ़े लिखे, कितने इंटेलिजेंट लोग रहते हैं। राजा कहता है कि ये तो बड़ा मतलब मुश्किल सा काम आपने, मतलब आप ऑफेंसिव क्वेश्चन कर रहे हो कि यू मीन टू से कि हमारी रियासत में कोई पढ़े लिखे या इंटेलिजेंट लोग नहीं है। तो कहते हैं एक छोटा सा टेस्ट देना चाहता हूँ कि देखते हैं कि रहते भी आपके यहाँ इंटेलिजेंट लोग या नहीं। ओके, व्हाट्स योर टेस्ट? तो कहते हैं कि उन्होंने 3 मूर्तियां निकाली अपने बैग में से, और वो जो तीनों मूर्तियां थी वो बिल्कुल एक सी थी। और कहता है somebody can tell me कि out of these 3 which is the most valuable, which is the least valuable and which is the middle one? तो उनको लगा कि ये इतना मुश्किल काम तो नहीं है, maybe on the basis of metal, maybe on the basis of finish, we can figure it out if which one is more valuable. So but many of them tried, but no one was in a position to figure it out कि कौन सी valuable है, because all those were very identical. तो फिर उसको लगा ये तो काम खराब हो गया। फिर एक बंदे ने कहा, कहता जी आप मेरे को थोड़ा टाइम दे सकते हो, कैन आई टेक दी स्टैच्यूज टू माय होम एंड कल को आपको बता दूंगा आगे। तो आई ट्राई, आई वांट टू ट्राई। कहते ओके। तो नेक्स्ट डे वो जो बंदा आया तो उसने आके राजा ने पूछा कि यू कुड फिगर आउट कि कौन ज्यादा वैल्यूएबल है कौन? कहता यस। तो कैसे? तो कहते कि उसने पहली वाली मूर्ति उठाई, उसके कान में वायर डाली है और वो वायर उसके मुंह से निकल गई। कहता है ये जो सुनता है वही बोलता है, जो सुनता है वही बोलता है। जैसे आज जो इंफॉर्मेशन आपको मिली आपने वही बोल दी, दैट मेक्स यू लीस्ट वैल्यूएबल। दूसरा था, दूसरी मूर्ति उठाई, उसके कान में वायर डाली, उसके दूसरे कान से निकल गई। कहता है ये थोड़ा सा उससे बेटर है कि इधर से सुना इधर से निकाल दिया, चलो कोई बात नहीं। थर्ड वन कि उसके कान में वो वायर डाली, उसके दिमाग में पहुंच गई। कहता दिस इज द मोस्ट वैल्यूएबल, कि जो भी सुनता है उसको प्रोसेस करता है ना, उसको इवेल्युएट करता है ना। सो दैट मेक्स यू वैल्यूएबल। कि अगर आप हम बात करते हैं क्रिटिकल थिंकिंग की, है ना, क्रिटिकल थिंकिंग मीन्स के दीज डेज लॉट ऑफ इंफॉर्मेशन इज अवेलेबल, है ना, लॉट ऑफ ऑब्जर्वेशंस आर देयर ना। तो एज ए स्टूडेंट आपका जो रोल है, व्हेन यू कम टू एन एजुकेशन इंस्टीट्यूशन, यू शुड थिंक अबाउट डेवलपिंग योर क्रिटिकल थिंकिंग एबिलिटी, नॉट के व्हाटएवर इज टॉट टू यू you should embrace it like this, है ना। Unless and until you evaluate it, unless and until you question it, है ना, उस innovation नहीं आएगी अगर आप उसको question नहीं करते। अगर आप उसको question तब करोगे when you will evaluate more। कहते हैं ना कि intelligence of a person is not judged from his answer, intelligence of a person is judged from his question। कि कैसा क्वेश्चन करते हो, कैसे क्वेश्चन करते हो, है ना, that makes you valuable, that makes you to develop your critical thinking abilities also। So critical thinking ये बड़ा important role है कि we as teachers should work on it to develop entrepreneurial mindset। तो इसमें next questioning का बड़ा important role है। Microsoft की में example लेते हैं कि Microsoft is thriving as a market leader for quite some time, though there was a lot of competition around, but still Microsoft is the leader। तो उसमें जब सत्या नडेला who is an Indian, उसको पूछा गया what makes you an effective corporate leader and how you are thriving Microsoft for quite some time. तो उसका आंसर था कि through precision posting, कि मैं अपने हर एक एम्प्लॉय को कुछ ना कुछ precise questions देता हूँ, है ना, regarding his job, regarding the work, regarding the process which he is following, है ना, और उसको कुछ क्वेश्चन ऐसे देता हूं ताकि वो उस पे क्रिएटिव वे से सोच पाए कि इसको मैं बेटर कैसे कर सकता हूं, क्या यही एक तरीका है इसको करने का या कोई और भी है. सो थ्रू दैट प्रिसिशन क्वेश्चनिंग Microsoft is thriving, Microsoft is becoming more creative and more improvised in terms of the processes and products, and that is how they are succeeding. So questioning plays, we say, a very, very important role. So plan your questions, encourage student participation, allow them for response, and summarize your next week. So here कुछ questions हैं कि what do you mean by this, how you can explain it further, why somebody has taken this assumption. So ये कुछ ना कुछ think about the questioning so that we can help our students, help our audience to understand and to be creative. So I think that's all, because sir has. So I know there are attempts. So with these words, I would like to conclude that as far as India's growth story is concerned, entrepreneurship and startup, that is the only key. We cannot expect the government to provide all the jobs; they cannot do it. So only way to become Viksit Bharat is that when entrepreneurship and startup culture is promoted, and for that, education institutions have a very, very important role to play to inculcate some kind of entrepreneurial mindset amongst the students through the various activities and through working on the teaching pedagogy also, so that you can help the students to innovate, to be creative, and to think critically. And all those things will take a long way to make India a Viksit Bharat in the years to come. So thank you very much for bearing with me for.
Thank you so much, sir, for such a priceless knowledge. I am sure that your intellectual words will help in enhancing the knowledge of all present here. Really a wonderful lecture, and I think सबने clapping करने तो show करता कि बहुत ही अच्छा लग गया सारा लोग. Thank you so much, audience. Now I got the privilege to welcome Mr. Iqbal Singh ji, Iqbal Shah ji from KES. Okay, thank you, sir. Okay. Now I would like to request Mr. Manish Bansal, Chartered Accountant Manish S. Bansal and Associates, Director NV Telecom Limited. Please, sir, say a few words about the seminar. Thank you.
ये मैं बहुत सारी स्पीच तैयार करके लेके आया था, आपने कवर कर लिया. तो हम कितना भी खुश हो रहे, हम सोच रहे हैं हम जितने मर्जी धुरंधर हो, जब गुरु सामने है तो फिर वो टीचर्स के आगे कुछ भी नहीं चलता. स्टिल आई हैव बीन गिवन द रिस्पांसिबिलिटी टू इंटरेक्ट विद यू, सो आई विल जस्ट शेयर फ्यू एक्सपीरियंसेस विद यू. तो सर ने एक चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट के लिए 22 का एग्जांपल दिया. तो सर आज मेरे साथ 22 ईयर, बिकॉज आई एम कंप्लीटिंग 22 इयर्स ऑफ माय मैरिज टुडे, एंड घर पे भी जाके डांस करनी है. Dear friends, Professor Upashana Joshi, present online, Dr. Manjeet Singh, Professor Surinder Singh from Sirsa, Principal Sir, HOD Ma'am, and all dear my colleagues, friends. एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप मैं अपना जो डेलिब्रेशन है दो चीजों से शुरू करता हूँ. Y2K सुना है किसी ने? Y2K कंप्यूटर्स लॉन्च हुए तो उन्होंने ईयर को डिफाइन किया सिर्फ 00 पे, राइट? तो जब 1999 से हमने 2000 पे शिफ्ट करना था, देयर वाज अ बिग प्रॉब्लम कि जैसे वो 00 आएगा कंप्यूटर उसको 1900 समझ लेगा 2000 की बजाय, एंड एवरीथिंग विल बी फ्लॉप, ऑल कंप्यूटर सिस्टम्स विल बी collapse. So this was a problem. Y2K, तो 1999 आया, 2000 आया, nothing happened. Next disruption, AI is there. तो सर ने कहा कि AI is an enabler. So I also think that nothing will be lost, rather we will be more powerful because these computers, these AIs, these aggregators are enablers, and these are only tools for the business, right? So can anyone let me know when was this entrepreneurship first coined? आजकल हम बहुत सुनते हैं और इसका तो एक्सेंट भी बदल गया है, एंटरप्रेन्योर नाम का मतलब एंटरप्रेन्योर, थोड़ा टंग ट्विस्टर हो गया. Still we use Indian accent as an entrepreneur. When was this entrepreneur word coined first? Any ideas? Blunt idea. In 1700s. तो 18वीं सदी से ये entrepreneur word है. And when was first startup was launched? 1860. So this is nothing new what we are reading. What does entrepreneur? It's a French verb. Entrepreneur means a person who does anything. So we all are entrepreneurs. हम कुछ भी कर रहे हैं, तो there is a only thing when we connect it to a business, when we connect it to a learning, it becomes entrepreneurship. And when we use technology in the entrepreneurship, it becomes startup. So there is a new model of the business that when you provide the enabling thing. ओयो ने क्या किया, उसने सब मतलब ओयो and there are few hotel chains जिनके पास एक भी अपना होटल नहीं है, still they are the largest hotel chains. So they enabled you. उन्होंने रूम वैकेंसीज को लोकेट किया, भी बहुत सारे होटल्स ओवरबुक्ड हैं, बहुत सारे होटल्स अंडरबुक्ड हैं. They enabled you, brought in a platform. So my fellow resource person, उसने एक पशु मेला के नाम से एक ऐप चलाई कि sellers हैं, buyers नहीं हैं, तो he provided a platform and aggregator. So this is a startup. तो दो sir has told you. So I'll tell you few resources जहाँ पे सबको लगता है कि entrepreneurship is a difficult thing. Why it's a difficult thing? We are not in habit of taking risk. अगर आज आप किसी कॉलेज, किसी इंस्टीट्यूट, किसी एजुकेशन सिस्टम में क्या देखते हैं हम, वी आर सेलिंग दी जॉब्स. यहाँ से पढ़े हुए स्टूडेंट 18 लाख का पैकेज ले रहे हैं, यहाँ से पढ़े हुए स्टूडेंट 25 लाख का पैकेज ले रहे हैं. कोई भी एजुकेशन सिस्टम आज ऐसा नहीं कर रहा कि यहाँ से पढ़े हुए ये एंटरप्रेन्योर यहाँ से पढ़ा है, ये एंटरप्रेन्योर यहाँ से पढ़ा है. No education system is selling that. And thanks to management, specifically of GN College and my fellow resource persons who have taken time to elaborate on this. This is something the need of hour. So, as Harshad Mehta used to say, risk hai, so ishq hai. ठीक है, so you can't survive without risk. Whenever you travel from home to a college, there is a risk of meeting with an accident. Still, आपने arbitrage किया, you have a helmet, you drive on a proper bylaws, rules, so you cover up that risk. So entrepreneurship में आपको तीन चीज चाहिए, स्टार्टअप में आपको तीन चीज चाहिए. आज अगर आप सुबह ब्रेकफास्ट टेबल पे बैठते हैं और शाम तक चलते हैं तो घर में लेडीज जेंट्स सब आइडिया दे रहे हैं, ये काम कर लें तो बहुत चल जाएगा, ये काम कर लें तो बहुत बिजनेस फ्लरिश हो. बट वंस वी हैड अ वर्ड, वी ड्रॉप दैट आइडिया. ठीक है, वी डिड नॉट वर्क ऑन आइडिया. और ये जितने भी जोमेटो हैं, ये सब ये ऐसे छोटे छोटे आइडिया से निकले. सो फर्स्ट यू नीड टू हैव एन आइडिया. अब आइडिया आ गया तो इट मे नॉट बी अ सक्सेसफुल बिजनेस और इट मे बी अ सक्सेसफुल बिजनेस. वी नीड टू वर्क ऑन इट. तो देन वी नीड टू हैव एन एनेबलर्स. उस आइडिया को हम वर्किंग कैसे करेंगे, उस आइडिया के ऊपर हम कहाँ से हमारे पास रिसोर्सेज आएगी, कहाँ से फंडिंग आएगी. सो देयर योर एकेडमिक्स प्लेज एन इंपॉर्टेंट रोल. कितना आप अपने एकेडमिशियन से, कितना मेंटोर से, कितना टीचर से उस आइडिया के बारे में डिस्कस करते हैं. जैसे आजकल एक भागदौड़ चल पड़ी क्विक कॉमर्स. क्विक कॉमर्स में क्या सबको एक दौड़ लग गई, 15 मिनट में सामान पहुंचाना है. फ्लिपकार्ट ने भी दौड़ लगा ली. तो इट गेव एन आइडिया. उसके बाद जब क्विक कॉमर्स का कॉन्सेप्ट आया तो उन्होंने एक आइडिया दिया, डार्क स्टोर्स. व्हाट इज डार्क स्टोर्स? कि हम हर जगह पे अपने सेंटर्स खोल लेंगे ताकि हम 15 मिनट में अपना प्रोडक्ट की डिलीवरी दे सके. तो फिर एक आदमी को आइडिया, व्हाई टू ओपन अ डार्क स्टोर्स. जो यहाँ पे रिटेलर्स ऑलरेडी अवेलेबल हैं उन्हीं को हम अपना डार्क स्टोर ट्रीट करते हैं. So this is an entrepreneurship where you are generating the ideas. So you need to have your updations every time. तो दो तीन challenges की मैं बात करूंगा, जैसे सर ने भी कहा भी ease of doing business के अंदर मतलब GST is a complicated thing, income taxation is a complicated thing, but I will suggest you कि आप लोगों को इन चीजों पे bother करने की जरूरत नहीं है। एक साल के 15,000 रुपए देके आप specialized knowledge ले सकते हैं, your everything, how to make a 22 we will tell you, right? So this is a part, मतलब India is a comparatively ease of doing business के अंदर we are on a very high scale. अगर आप 2-3 दिन पहले की न्यूज़ देखें how the data is being used, तो एक पीछे डेटा आया कि इंडिया is on a 1.4 hours per day सोशल मीडिया पे रहता है. So I wrote a letter to a research company भी आपने 1.4 कैसे कैलकुलेट किया है. If I see youngsters in my area, they are more on a social media. तो what they have done is data usage divided by population. तो अगर ऐसे डिवाइड करेंगे हम तो हम हर चीज में कम आएंगे, because 40% of the mobile usage are still feature phone users in India. So that's why we are 1.4. Otherwise we have crossed New Zealand also, which is the highest data usage. So what does this data give you? We have a market. We are 1/6 of the total population in the world. So given that big size, given that we are the highest enablers in terms of a technology solutions, whether it's a Silicon Valley, whether it's a Bangalore, we have highest talent pool. It is only thing we need to channelize energy through a proper medium, where as sir told, we need to have a proper mentorship. So laws are very easy. As we goes in example saying कि एक बार चलान हो गया तो person said कि 2 साल के उसने कोर्ट की तारीखें भुगती और जब उसको चलान से फ्री किया गया तो द accused said कि जज साहब आपको जल्दी से हवलदार बनाया जाए क्योंकि उस दिन मैं 500 रुपए में छूट रहा था. So और आज मेरा ये लिटिगेशन लड़ने के अंदर 5,000 लग गया. तो नो ऑफेंस, रिस्क इज मोर. तो इसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि वी हैव टू टेक द रॉन्ग काइंड ऑफ रिस्क. The risk should be always an ethical. तो जब हम ethical risk की बात करते हैं तो you have to plan exit plan. तो सबसे पहले मेरे पास idea है, then we have an enabler, then I have an exit plan. अगर आज आप OYO के चेयरमैन फाउंडर से पूछे who is a perhaps +2 pass, ठीक है, उनसे पूछें तो he says I don't run a revenue model. आप कोई भी बिजनेस करते हैं तो आप पैसा कमाने के लिए करते हैं, बट द स्टार्टअप्स इन इंडिया आर नॉट डूइंग बिजनेसेस टू अर्न द प्रॉफिट्स, दे आर बिल्डिंग द रेवेन्यू मॉडल, मतलब एक्सपेंस मॉडल, जिसमें वो सिर्फ वैल्यूएशंस क्रिएट कर रहे हैं जस्ट टू सेल देम. एज फ्लिपकार्ट हैज डन, फ्लिपकार्ट क्रिएटेड द वैल्यूएशन एंड सोल्ड इट टू वॉलमार्ट. सो दिस इज द वन वे ऑफ द बिजनेस. आपके पास आइडिया है, आप अपनी वैल्यूएशन क्रिएट कीजिए एंड सेल टू इट. बट व्हेन इट कम्स टू रियल स्टार्टअप्स, ठीक है, तो जब आप रियल स्टार्टअप पे बात करते हैं, फर्स्ट यू नीड टू इन्वेस्ट योर टाइम, योर एनर्जी, योर मनी, देन गो टू बर्न द इन्वेस्टर्स मनी. अभी उल्टा क्या हो रहा है, हम यहां से निकलते हैं, वी स्टार्टअप डायरेक्टली वी गोज फॉर अ सीड फंडिंग. सीड फंडिंग इज व्हाट इनिशियल कैपिटल रिक्वायर्ड फॉर दिस स्टार्टअप. तो जब हम सीड फंडिंग के लिए चाहते हैं, हम वो चाहते हैं कि सीड फंडिंग भी इन्वेस्टर की पॉकेट से लगे. तो वो इन्वेस्टर्स आपको ऐसे नहीं मिलेंगे आज के दिन. India is having the worst pitch when it comes to entrepreneurship capital seeking. The world had stopped counting on us because I participate in entrepreneur seeking of the funds, and we are treated as the least ethical businessmen throughout the world. Why it is so? I'll just give you one example and conclude my session. We started a global capability center. What is global capability center? I'll share you. It's a big business opportunity for all commerce students. So we started American outsourcing work, जिसके अंदर हम इंडिया में बैठ के अमेरिका के टैक्सेशन वर्क करते थे, and we started charging around $12 per hour की हमारी कुछ चार्जिंग थी. So when few of my students started this, learn from me, they quoted rate of $2 per hour. But they couldn't perform the work. That's why this example is happening all over the America, UK, US. So they are not counting in Indians as a good outsourcing. So इसका एक competition, इसका एक इलाज निकला. India is now going to GCCs, which called as a global capability centers. What we are doing, it's in a process outsourcing. You need to have a collaboration with throughout the India, और आप एक दिवाली जैसे शहर में बैठ के आपको सिर्फ एक अच्छी इंटरनेट कनेक्टिविटी प्लस टैलेंट चाहिए, and now the world will be a global village. So it is not that for entrepreneurship you has to be in Delhi, you has to be in a Bombay, you has to be in a Bangalore. Only you need to have a right mindset, right enablers, and right technology. So to have a lot thing, dear friends, I'll request management to share my mobile and email numbers. So those who are really interested, let me tell you, up to 5 crore of rupees, you need not to have your own investment. Banks, investors, capital funders, everything is there. You should have a concrete ideas. Second thing, and as an enablers for taxation system, India is the best at the moment. We are next to tax haven. Tax haven is that country which is the least taxation rate, and as far as personal taxation is concerned, corporate taxation is concerned, India is the least taxation. तो अभी अगर आप लोगों में से कुछ ये सोच रहे हैं कि हम फॉरेन जाएं, सेटल आएं, this reverse has already started, this trend has already started reversing. So we will be seeing more professionals who are establishing outside. They'll be coming back to India, as far as that we have a target of around 16 trillion dollar currency. So we'll be needing more professionals. Only thing is that we need to stop spending time on social media, and the valuation we are getting from our knowledge has to be more on that side. One more thing, as I tell, ki GCC and patents. So what is a global capability center? As I told that you need to have internet, you need to have a work power. So there are almost 1700 global capability centers throughout the world, and India is at the number 1 in providing outsourcing activities. And we could quote the example of Zoho. Zoho ने 1000 crore रुपए की इन्वेस्टमेंट लगा के गांव के अंदर अपना कैपेबिलिटी सेंटर बनाया है, who is hiring 2300 people in a village smaller than a Killianwali, जहाँ पे वो पूरे वर्ल्ड को अकाउंटिंग सर्विसेज दे रहे हैं. So this is the depth of the Indian potential. Only you need to explore the ideas. So this is one object. अब इंडिया में सेकंड कॉन्सेप्ट क्या है? We are the highest populated country in the world. When we are highest populated, so it is a challenge, it's an opportunity. As an opportunity, आप कूड़े से रिलेटेड कोई भी एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप शुरू कर लीजिए, कभी काम मंदा नहीं आने वाला उसके लिए. Whether it's a scrap disposal, whether it is मतलब recycling of the scraps. तो गवर्नमेंट ने 3 साल पहले स्कीम निकाली, कार स्क्रैपेज पॉलिसी, व्हीकल स्क्रैपेज पॉलिसी, एंड यू कुड इमेजिन ओनली 3 years वी कुड गेट ओनली 60 टेकर्स. सिर्फ 60 ऐसे यूनिट पूरे वर्ल्ड के अंदर लगे. और आपको पता है कि अभी ये हमारा भारत 6 आ गया, जिसके अंदर अराउंड 3 crore व्हीकल्स विल बी ऑफ द रोड. Only you need to have a mindset. You need to have with times how you can do your entrepreneurship, right? So I will be available there. My mentors will be available there. So due to short of time, sorry, I wanted to discuss, but I have a flight to catch. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Now, we want to give a love and affection, a token of love and affection. Minister, please, just 1 minute. I first ask what the keynote speaker, our resource persons, Madam Usha Goyal, PG Department, Business Management and Commerce, Organizing Committee, please. for accepting the token of love and affection. Resource person, Surinder Singh, Dean, Faculty of Commerce, Chaudhary Devilal University, Sirsa. Please, sir, please say some intellectual words. It's my privilege to welcome Mr. Iqbal Shant from Press, Punjabi Tribune and Ajit Samachar, Mr. Jaimuni Koelji, Executive Member, Alumni Association, Naveen Nagpal ji, Dr. Bharat Bhushan ji, and Paramjit Kochar ji. Thank you so much, sir, for joining. I also want to welcome Dr. Amaninder Kaur Hindsa, Assistant Professor, DGC Bagal, Mrs. Poonam Babbar, Associate Professor Commerce, MP College, Madidawali, Inderjit Singh, PGT English Government Model Sanskriti Senior Secondary School, Madidawali, Government Boys School, ਅਸੀਂ almost Government Boys School ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਹਾਂ. Welcome, sir. Dr. Balraj Singh, Lecturer Punjabi, Government Girls School, Madidawali. Shri Jeevan Singla ji from Principal Nehru Public School, Madidawali. Welcome you all, please. All of you, please join your hands to welcome them. Thank you so much. Senior ji, मैं हमने notice किया है. Thank you, sir, for joining us. Welcome, sir.
आप सभी का धन्यवाद. नमस्ते आप सभी को. As esteemed chief guest of this event and respected my fellow colleagues and honorable mentors and seniors and juniors, we are here to reach from world to India, then come to Punjab. My topic is related to the entrepreneurship. Why we have to reach here? Because of the state Punjab is very much progressive and innovative. Therefore, we have to focus on Punjab itself. जैसे अभी सीए साहब ने बताया कि हम डबवाली में ये काम कर रहे हैं. For the kind information, the Sirsa and the Dabwali are two places are there to invest the maximum amount in the commodity market of India. The investors who belongs to Sirsa and Dabwali, they are cotton growers and they invest a lot of money in the stock market. Every time the commodity market is being trending on the basis of the Dabwali and Sirsa. Manjeet sir, for your kind information, Here we are going to tell here that किसी भी एक कॉमन जो हमारे आरतियां होते हैं, एक या दो या तीन नहीं, करीब करीब 50 आरतियां सिरसा, रानिया, डबवाली की मार्केट में ऐसे हैं जो एक दिन की इनकम कॉमोडिटी मार्केट से 10 लाख रुपए तक की देते हैं। रूटीन में मैं एक बार किसी से मिला तो उससे पूछा मैंने कि आपका परसेंटेज या अर्निंग क्या है। उन्होंने कहा कि डॉक्टर साहब मेरा वक्त वो यानी वो दिन बड़ा खराब जाता है जिस दिन मैं 2 लाख रुपए कमाता हूँ। मैंने कहा बढ़िया दिन कौन सा मानते हो? तो उन्होंने कहा मैं जब 10 लाख से ऊपर क्रॉस करता हूँ डेली इनकम में, तब मुझे लगता है कि हाँ आज मैंने बिजनेस किया है। और स्टॉक मार्केट 22 दिन चलती है, 30 दिन के मान लीजिए 28 दिन के महीने में, और उस 20 दिन में भी वो सिर्फ 10 दिन काम करते हैं। तो ये पोटेंशियल है। बात ये है कि यहाँ पर हमें देखने की जरूरत है। अभी नेशनल एजुकेशन पॉलिसी 2020 आई आप सभी के सामने, उसमें कंटेंट है इंटर्नशिप। उस इंटर्नशिप के माध्यम से कुछ चीजें मैं जोड़ना चाहूंगा, आपके समक्ष रखना चाहूंगा। माय डायलेक्ट, माय लैंग्वेज में भी बाइलिंगुअल, हिंदी भी हो सकती है, इंग्लिश भी हो सकती है। जहां मुझे उचित लगेगा इंग्लिश बोलना होगा, कोई शब्द यदि ऐसा होगा तो मैं बोल दूंगा उसको, लेकिन मैं यूथ के पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से मैं हिंदी में अपनी बात रखना चाहूंगा। यदि हम पंजाब की बात करते हैं, पंजाब ने एक पॉलिसी 2022 में लॉन्च की। यदि किसी ने डॉक्यूमेंट देखा है तो अच्छी बात है। पंजाब इंडस्ट्रियल एंड बिजनेस डेवलपमेंट पॉलिसी 2022। इस पॉलिसी के विजन और मिशन में बड़ा क्लियर है कि हम इनोवेटिव आइडियाज को इनवाइट करेंगे और उसके बाद उसमें जितना काम करना चाहेंगे हम उतना ही बूस्टअप करेंगे। दो इवेंट है यहाँ पर, स्टार्टअप पंजाब और इन्वेस्ट पंजाब। इन्वेस्टर के लिए इन्वेस्ट पंजाब है जो मान लीजिए पैसा लगाना चाहते हैं और ट्रिपल मॉडल में आना चाहते हैं, पब्लिक प्राइवेट पार्टनरशिप में। यदि आप खुद ही अपना बिजनेस स्टार्ट करना चाहते हैं तो उसके लिए स्टार्टअप पंजाब है, जिसमें गवर्नमेंट ऑफ पंजाब विल प्रोवाइड द फैसिलिटी, प्रोवाइड द सिंगल विंडो क्लियरेंस। जैसे सर ने बताया कि सिंगल विंडो सिस्टम होना चाहिए, सिंगल विंडो क्लियरेंस, द होल portal is available, startup portal is there, you can apply for different kind of the formalities are to be completed within 24 hours by the government of Punjab. ये कुछ स्टार्टअप हैं, 3 नाम सुने होंगे आपने, जुगनू, एग नेक्स्ट एग्रीकल्चर के लिए, और तीसरा पेमार्ट। तीनों ही स्टार्टअप आपके पंजाब में ही रन करते हैं और पंजाब के लोगों ने ही बनाए हैं, और इन लोगों को जो मान लीजिए आउट ऑफ द वर्ल्ड भी इनको फॉलो किया जाता है। अभी इनिशिएटिव जैसे सर ने बताया, तनीश जी हैं हमारे बीच में, वो आएंगे और बताएंगे हम कैसे एप्लीकेशन लॉन्च करते हैं, उसके बाद कैसे स्टार्ट करते हैं। इसका मीनिंग ये नहीं है कि हम यहीं बैठे रहें और अपना काम ना करें। इंटर्नशिप का एक मौका दिया गया। इंटर्नशिप से संबंधित मैं कुछ बात रखना चाहूंगा आपके सामने। नेशनल एजुकेशन पॉलिसी 2020 में यदि मान लीजिए हम 1 साल का प्रोग्राम करते हैं, जैसे आपका यूजी 3 ईयर था, 4 ईयर में जा चुका है, स्टूडेंट्स के लिए जरूरी है ये। मंजीत जी को मालूम होगा, डॉक्टर साहब आपने एनईपी 2020 लागू की हमने स्टेट में? नहीं, यूनिवर्सिटीज तो इम्प्लीमेंट कर चुके हैं, यूनिवर्सिटी कैंपस की इशू नहीं है, कॉलेज में। ओके ओके, यूनिवर्सिटीज अपने कैंपस में शुरू कर चुकी हैं आने वाले दिनों में, क्योंकि हम हरियाणा से हैं तो हरियाणा का मैं अपडेट कर देता हूँ। वी हैव इनिशिएटेड एंड इम्प्लीमेंटेड आवर पॉलिसी फ्रॉम 2021-22 2021-22 में हम कैंपस में लगा दी थी। कॉलेजेस में पिछले साल से हमने लगाई, एफिलिएटेड कॉलेजेस में, सभी ऑल एफिलिएटेड कॉलेज वी हैव रन थ्रू दिस। इस बार जो हमने एडमिशन किए हैं 24-25 में, वो सभी एनईपी 2020 के तहत किए हैं, जिसमें क्या होगा कि 1 साल यदि बच्चा करता है उसके बाद उसको सर्टिफिकेट मिलता है, 2 साल करेगा तो डिप्लोमा, 3 साल करेगा तो यूजी प्रोग्राम, 4 साल करेगा तो यूजी प्रोग्राम विद ऑनर्स। ऑनर पहले यहाँ 3 साल में होती थी, वो 4 साल में चली गई है। और जैसे वो 4 ईयर की यूजी डिग्री करेगा बच्चा, उसके बाद तुरंत वो पीएचडी के लिए एनरोल हो सकता है, या नेट एग्जामिनेशन यदि देना चाहता है यूजीसी का, वो दे सकता है। उसी में कंपोनेंट है इंटर्नशिप। इंटर्नशिप का मीनिंग क्या होगा कि यदि मान लीजिए 1 साल के बाद आप कहीं छोड़कर जाना चाहते हैं, किलियांवाली कॉलेज से मान लीजिए आपने फर्स्ट ईयर किया, सेकंड ईयर आप किसी कॉलेज में जाके करना चाहते हैं तो आप जा सकते हैं, लेकिन 4 क्रेडिट का इंटर्नशिप करना पड़ेगा। तो इसके लिए 3 अक्टूबर 2024 को ही पीएम इंटर्नशिप पोर्टल खोला गया, जिसमें सभी स्टूडेंट्स को ऑल ओवर इंडिया इनवाइट किया गया कि आप इंटर्नशिप में यदि अपने आप को डालना चाहते हैं डालिए। इंटर्नशिप कौन प्रोवाइड करेगा? टॉप 500 कंपनीज हैं उस पोर्टल के ऊपर, जहां पर आप अपना इंटर्नशिप का काम शुरू कर सकते हैं। चाहे आप मान लीजिए ओल्ड पैटर्न से हैं, न्यू पैटर्न से, जस्ट एनरोल योरसेल्फ ऑन द पोर्टल, क्योंकि आपके काम की बात है इसलिए। और आपके सेक्टर्स बहुत अलग अलग हैं उसमें, जिस भी सेक्टर में आप जाना चाहें तो एक बार मैं झलक दिखा देता हूं आपको पीएम इंटर्नशिप की। एक बार मैं आपसे एक गुजारिश कर लेता हूं कि पंजाब इंडस्ट्रियल एंड बिजनेस डेवलपमेंट पॉलिसी है, आप इसको जरूर पढ़ें। 274 पेज का ये डॉक्यूमेंट है, लेकिन उसमें आपके आसपास जो चीजें घूम रही हैं वो सभी चीजें बिल्कुल क्लियर कर दी गई हैं कि आपकी गवर्नमेंट क्या चाहती है आपसे, कि आप आइए, इनोवेटिव आइडिया दीजिए, और पोर्टल अवेलेबल है जहां पर आप अपने आप को एनरोल कर सकते हैं। क्योंकि प्रैक्टिकली जब हम तक नहीं करेंगे, थ्योरेटिकली उसका इतना बेनिफिट नहीं होगा। धीरे धीरे बढ़ाएंगे डॉक्टर साहब बात। यही लिखना है। जब तक ये आप अपने मोबाइल में पीएम इंटर्नशिप लिख लीजिए, वहां पर भी आपको ये पता लग जाएगा कि हमारी क्या स्कीम है। उसमें यूथ एनरोलमेंट का एक फोल्डर है, उसमें अपने आप को एज यूथ यानी 21 से 24 साल के बच्चे या बच्चियां उसमें एनरोल करेंगे, और हर महीने आपको 6000 का स्टाइफंड वो कंपनी देगी जिस कंपनी में आपने अपने आप को एनरोल किया है। और साथ में इंटर्नशिप स्किल्स वही आपकी बढ़िया बनाएंगे और बताएंगे कि आपने करना क्या है। उसके बाद आपके पास जॉब की अपॉर्चुनिटीज खुलती है। इसके अलावा एक आपके सेमिनार का टॉपिक था एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप एंड एथनिक माइनॉरिटीज। माइनॉरिटीज के लिए गवर्नमेंट ऑफ हरियाणा, गवर्नमेंट ऑफ पंजाब, गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया क्या कर रही है, क्या नहीं कर रही है। हरियाणा को एस्केप करने के अलावा हम पंजाब और इंडिया की बात कर लेते हैं। यहाँ पर यदि पंजाब और भारत की बात करें, गवर्नमेंट ऑफ पंजाब हैज इनिशिएटेड अ पर्टिकुलर डॉक्यूमेंट एंड दे आर गिविंग द so many subsidies. The percentage of the subsidies near to 50% they are giving to the marginalized or the minority communities. उसके बाद तनीश जी, इस बात को ध्यान से आप देखें, समझें। एट एनी टाइम ऑफ द इवेंट, इफ एनी काइंड ऑफ दिस काइंड ऑफ द प्रॉब्लम्स विल अराइज, हाउ यू विल रिजॉल्व? यस, कम। PM इंटर्नशिप। मोबाइल होगा आप सभी के पास। स्टूडेंट्स ऑपनिट pminternship.gov.in या सीधा आप गूगल में लिखेंगे PM इंटर्नशिप आ जाएगी। ये इसलिए जरूरी है ताकि आपको हर सेक्टर्स मालूम हो जाए कि हम कहाँ कहाँ अपना अपना काम कर सकते हैं। कोई इशू नहीं, आपके मोबाइल में हो सकता है नेटवर्क की कैपेसिटी बढ़िया हो, आप वहाँ पे इसको ओपन कर लें और अपने आप को एज स्टूडेंट इसमें एनरोल जरूर करें ताकि आपको ये पता लगे कि किन किन सेक्टर्स में आप जा सकते हैं और किन किन सेक्टर्स में अपने आप को एनरोल कर सकते हैं। इसके अलावा हमारा जो पंजाब गवर्नमेंट ऑफ पंजाब की यदि मैं बात कर रहा हूँ तो वहाँ पर विजन मिशन बड़ा क्लियर है और उसके अलावा एक कॉन्सेप्ट जो दिया गया है इस गवर्नमेंट ऑफ पंजाब के द्वारा, उन्होंने कहा कि जितने भी मान लीजिए एग्नेक्स जैसे मैंने जुगनू का एग्जांपल दिया, जितने लोग हमारे से जुड़ते जाएंगे उसके अकॉर्डिंग हम जितना भी हमारी तरफ से सब्सिडी है उसमें कुछ एनहांसमेंट होगी। जैसे मान लीजिए फ्रीलांसर्स गिग वर्कर्स का नाम लिया सर ने कि वो फ्रीलांसर या कॉन्ट्रैक्टर जो लोग होंगे उनका जैसे मान लीजिए किसी एक को रोड बनाने का कॉन्ट्रैक्ट दिया कि वो 1 साल में पूरा करेंगे, उसके लिए मान लीजिए 1 करोड़ का प्रोजेक्ट है, 1 साल का टाइम है, लेकिन इसको टाइम के साथ अटैच कर दिया गया कि जितना आप टाइम कंज्यूम करेंगे उसको पूरा करने को उतना ही 10% हम इंसेंटिव देना चाहेंगे। इट मीन टू से द एवरी काइंड ऑफ द गवर्नमेंट वेदर इट इज स्टेट और द India or the central or the union government, they are promoting all these things. Just you have to ensure yourself, okay, you should be the part of it. With these words, thanks a lot. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for your rich words. Now, I would like to request, and we have the pleasure of listening our youngest resource person, Mr. Tanish Sethi. Please, sir.
Hello everyone. Namaskar. Greetings to the lecturers and the respected speakers. Firstly, I would like to thank the college and Usha ma'am for giving me this wonderful opportunity. I feel very honored to be able to share some of the experiences and learnings I gained throughout my journey till now, and I'll be glad to share some insights with you as well. So let's start. So for those who do not know about me, my name is Tanish Sethi. I am a student. I'm a student first of all, like you all, and I am currently 17 years old, and I live in Mandidapalli, Chennai. I started my journey when I was in 8th class, I think. मतलब पहले ऐसी क्यूरियोसिटी में शुरू किया थोड़ा HTML सीखा पहला लैंग्वेज मैंने आउट ऑफ क्यूरियोसिटी, बट मेरा सही जर्नी शुरू हुआ जब मैं पहली बार ये अपना लॉकडाउन लगा, कोरोना पीरियड में पहली बार लॉकडाउन लगा जब, तब मुझे थोड़ा टाइम मिला, फ्री टाइम स्कूल से थोड़ा फ्री हुए तो कुछ एक्स्ट्रा करने का। तो मैं मैंने जैसे अभी तक 14 एंड्रॉयड ऐप्स डेवलप किया। मैं आपको सभी के बारे में थोड़ा थोड़ा बताता हूँ शॉर्ट में, और थोड़ा सा कोशिश करूँगा कि आपको थोड़ा थिंकिंग प्रोसेस भी बताऊँ कि मैं कैसे आई केम अप विद दिस आइडियाज। सो माय फर्स्ट ऐप व्हिच वाज लिस्ट अप, दिस ऐप आई मेड इन जून 2020 आई थिंक। मैंने क्या देखा कि जैसे मेरे मम्मी पापा दोनों टीचर्स हैं, और वो दोनों अक्सर ही काफ़ी स्कूल के स्ट्रेस में रहते हैं।